At a point in time, the small-scale mining sector, which is a legal sector of our mining, it was passed in PNDC time to allow, because we realized that the big mining companies were owned by foreign companies, and Ghanaian small-scale companies that had the capacity to mine were prevented from doing so. And so the mining code was revised to add for small-scale miners. And as I said, there's a difference between small-scale mining and artisanal mining. Artisanal mining was what existed before, using pickaxes and shovels and so on and so forth. But when the new licenses for small-scale mining started, and they could afford to bring in excavators and bulldozers and others, it meant that their ability to destroy the environment was expanded. And that is where we currently have our problem. I want to assure you that we are determined to win this fight. And your contributions, your criticisms, your pressure, putting fire under our feet does not have any problem. We don't have any problem with that. You must continue to do your advocacy, to urge us on, to encourage us to win the fight. As I said in the last media encounter, I said that I had no illusions that within 7 months I was going to win the fight against Galamsey. And I said that it wasn't going to be an event, it was going to be a process. Mistakes have been made. In the first effort we made, we go into a forest reserve. We mapped out the forest reserves that had been that had incursions of illegal miners, and we deployed the first wave of our security services. They scored a lot of successes. In a short time, they had cleared some of the major forest reserves that were called no-go areas. Unfortunately, after we cleared the illegal miners from there, the security services withdrew and handed over the forest reserve to the Forestry Commission. And so they put their forest guards there. The forest guards don't have the capacity to defend the reserves against the illegal miners. And so lessons learned were that in the next wave, with the formation of NIMOS, that we must deploy It comes with a cost, because if you send troops and station them permanently to guard the forest reserves, we must feed them, we must provide them with fuel, we must give them vehicles and all the logistics they need to be able to do that. And so that links up with Franklin's question about budget. We need a substantially bigger budget than we have currently to be able to win this war. Happily, budget hearings have started. The budget for next year is going to be presented to Parliament. And my expectation is that the Minister of Finance will give a much bigger allocation to this fight against Galamsey. We also need enough troops. Our troops are stretched. We have so many chieftaincy disputes all over the country, land disputes. And so you go to Sampa, we have troops there. You go to Gonjaland, Savannah, there are troops there. You go to Boko, there are troops there. You go to Nkwanta, our troops are there. And then our troops are also on the border to protect us from terrorism. And so they are spread thin. If we take another batch of them and go and put them in the forest, it means that we are committing most of our troops to other things other than crime prevention and keeping us safe. And so that's why NIMOS is a combination of the police and the army. So all of them contribute troops. And then we also have national security also contributing and all the other agencies. But happily, we have some additional troops coming with the winding down of some of the peacekeeping theaters. And so when they come, as many bring an excavator in, you can't put it on a ship. And we're telling the shipping agencies, if you bring an excavator for which there's no permit, we shall penalize you, the shipping agency, for carrying that excavator here to Ghana. In the meantime, we came to meet a huge quantity of excavators in the port. And that is what the lands minister was explaining to you, that we had to decongest the ports because there was no more space for anything. And so we've moved them to the military space at the Shire Hills and other locations, and we've corralled them there. One of the successes too is the registration of excavators. Even though the law requires excavators to be registered, nobody was registering their excavator. And so if you look at the DVLA records, there was no registration of excavators. And so anybody could bring in an excavator and take it straight into the forest. Today, we are requiring that every excavator must be registered with the owner of the excavator known. And once that is done, like he said, we started putting trackers on the excavator so that we know exactly where they are going to. It's not only illegal miners who use excavators, contractors working on our roads, quarries, and others all use excavators. And so it's impossible to just put a complete ban on excavators, but we must know where that excavator is being used for construction purposes. And so we now can hold the owners of excavators responsible if we find the excavator in a forest reserve or engaged in illegal mining. And so that's one of the advances that we have made. We started a geofencing policy where it makes it possible for us to know where every excavator is, so that if the excavator moves after where it was geofenced, then we can go and find out where did this excavator go and what is it doing where it has gone. And so that would help us. With regards to turbidity of the water, as the scientist said, it's just about, you can see physically with your eyes, you know, what the turbidity of the water is. The thicker brown it is, the more coffee-like it is, the more polluted it is. The less it is, the less polluted it is. And so, like he said, we are scoring a few successes, especially on the Ankobra. I believe the minister chose the Ankobra to start because it flows through his constituency. And so there are some successes, but like he said, we still have the Pra, we have the Densu, we have the Birim, you know, we have the Ofin and all of them. But that means that we must get more manpower. The Blue Water Guards have started work, and a lot of them are deployed on the Ankobra River. So far, we've recruited 1,000 of them. We pay them an allowance of, if you take away deductions and other taxes, of about 1,500 cedis a month. And so if we have 1,000 of them, and we pay about 1,500 a month, it means for a year, you're talking about roughly 18 million cedis. And that's for 1,000 of them. And so if we scale up, then it means that we need more money to employ more of them. But I endorse it because it gives them an alternative source of income. Because as they are fighting the pollution of our water bodies, they are also earning an income as a kind of alternative livelihood. And so that is something that we'll have to scale up. And so the Minister of Finance in doing the budget must make extra provision. We also have to start reclamation, because it's not enough to just stop them and drive them away and leave the land scarred the way it is. And so there are a few companies that have worked with the United Nations, and they have come up with some trees that help to regenerate the soil and can also take out toxins from the soil. If you've heard about the green Sahelian wall that the United Nations was sponsoring, some of the companies involved there have also come and tried those crops in areas that we want to reclaim. And they say that the tests are positive and they can work with us. But of course, we need to use these bulldozers and things we have recovered to level out the land before these vegetative organisms are put in the land to be able to reclaim the land. So reclamation is one of the areas that we must look to. Happily, we should be able to get some support from green climate funds and a lot of these green funds to assist us in reclamation. But we must put our resources in first. The menace of illegal mining, and I've been trying to find out about best practice, and I found out that apparently we are not the only ones suffering. The high gold price is pushing a lot of people into gold, especially gold. Gone into, and there's violence, people have died, all kinds of things are happening. So we might not be the only persons, but there are success stories we can learn from. Because if you look at Chile, for instance, they've been able to formalize 90% of their small-scale gold mining. It means 90%, they were in the same situation as us. But today, 90% of their small-scale mining is formalized. And they have control of it. They inspect, they make sure that they're doing the right thing. We can also achieve that. And so even though we're not alone facing that menace, I believe that we can use the best practices of Chile and others to also formalize our small-scale mining sector and make sure that we're able to take control of it. And that is part of what we tried to do when our colleagues died in the helicopter crash. We contacted the big mining companies. Some of them have concessions like 200 miles square. And they're not going to mine all of that concession today or tomorrow. There are some of the places they've explored and found that the gold content is so low that it's not really profitable for them to start mining. But for a small-scale mining company, because of their lower costs, they can mine it effectively. But they must do it responsibly. And so together with the big companies, we said, okay, let's start this cooperative mining, seed part of your concession, so that we can move the small-scale miners from where they are causing distraction onto your concessions. And then you can help us to monitor them and make sure that they are doing the right things. So that was what we were going to launch in Obuasi when the tragic accident happened. The first was Anglo Gold. Anglo Gold agreed, and they carved out a part of the concession. I'm happy to know that since then, Newmont have come on board and are going to assist with the cooperative mining. And some of the other bigger companies have agreed that they will carve out part of their concession so that we can move these illegal small-scale miners onto those places. And so we'll continue to do that. We also have the issue of geology and geological exploration. Currently, our mineral prospects have not been explored adequately. Happily, there's new technology generated by AI that allows those with the technology to partner with our geological survey department. And what they do is they shoot seismic from satellites, and they're able to map out exactly where a mineral prospect is. Currently, when our small-scale miners get a concession, they go and dig this place. There's not enough gold there. They leave it. They go and dig there. There's not enough gold. They leave it. They come and dig here. There's not enough gold. They dig here until they find something. By the time they find something and they're mining, they've dug all over the concession. Today, it's possible to precisely map out where the mineral prospect is. And that's part of what Gold Board is trying to do. That is their other responsibility. That is to give geological survey money together with their partners to shoot the seismic for Ghana and show where exactly the resources are. And based on that, do PPPs with Ghanaian mining companies that will mine that gold responsibly so that they don't go around just digging everywhere. So that's one of the things that Gold Board is going to introduce. And this fits into their track and trace system, which they are going to launch, because we cannot export gold to the European countries because of LBMA restrictions. And yet, if we introduce a track and trace system, we should not only be able to export to the Asian countries and the Middle East. We should be able to, once the gold has been tracked and it's known to have come from responsible sources, then we can export it into the LBMA countries. And that allows us to get a much higher price, for our gold than we currently have. And so Gold Board has to activate that other aspect. Aside from that, we're looking at best practices for small-scale mining, because small-scale mining is not restricted only to Africa or to Ghana. It is done even in the advanced countries. And so there are small-scale mines in Canada, Australia, even in the United States of America. And that's why when I spoke the other time, I said that we're contacting some of them so that our Small-Scale Miners Association, could be sent to go and see that you can do this in a much better way than we currently do. Happily, we've trained a lot of geologists, we've trained a lot of mining experts. University of Mines and Technology has trained so many of our young people who have the technology and the ability to do so. And so the intention is to attach these graduates of UMAT to the district mining organizations, and they would help the district mining organizations to go and inspect the small-scale mining industries and make sure that they're doing the right thing. Normally what you do is, before you start, you must dig what they call a tailings dam to contain any water that you use to wash the gold. And so all the gold that you wash must go into the tailings dam and is contained. And after you wash the gold and you finish mining, you're supposed to cover the pits, and then after that, there are chemicals that you can use to clean and detoxify the water. I'll come to that in a short while. But like I said, it's not an event, it's a process, but we will never give up. It's a long journey, but we'll continue to work on it. I like that somebody raised that, what are we doing to the kingpins? Because most of those 1,400 who have been arrested are young youth who are looking for something to be able to look after themselves. And we'll prosecute them, we'll imprison them. But those who run those operations are the ones that we must be arresting and imprisoning, not these little boys, And so we need to change our strategy. We can arrest the boys and all that.
Mbra na ese ye adwuma. So mbra na ese ye adwuma. So say omama untumi bill. Na omo enhye ye no so ase emfiri ho. You see, galamsey issue no say omone abonefo no edi no nwono ya lady be a video be about wontumi efa Nimri forest ho. Na unfortunately my message our video no me. You see, my main fast and win chem or damn it. Wanya sampa or damn it. Wo na Ghana police for a year. I think now it's clear that between the Ghana police and the Akufo-Addo and the Ghana police and the Yohunu, at least Ansah kakra bo mutrim. And then kwasi asemwa odame efa enkrofo kogu eye police headquarters ehye wo mo atare don defame of odame eno kodi sebe akakabensem. Ghana ni bia wo tiemi bia ni se eye Akufo-Addo ni odame no a ono no ye attorney general no a enkanya dia obi ene dampare a enkomo wura on komo buru wo mo aku wo mo enka se Akufo-Addo as the president, then you have Odame as the Attorney General and Dampare as the IGP. Me say enkene enki yebesie nipa ewo police headquarters. But it's good. Eye because say MPP supporters ni aye omadwe say edam ewo mutim na say police forensic say omo ebro omo a at least obia we obia de beye eye enkaye na omo boys no small boys bi ni omo sanketenkete bi ne akakabinsem bi ne de omo kyerɛkyerɛ ho ye police form and sakura pie from Buffalo omba bumu amamoni so atem one time ne de omo kyerɛkyerɛ hwɛ ye mema o ya mema omo konzongo ene kofa nipa ni bio ya mama o ya mema boys they come na do omo ti sometimes so hwa na watwa so but I hope say omo beka sa kire eye Godfred Odame asemo a empedifo dia to dia to nsafre nyina ye simple wo ya Attorney General udi bone na di eye AG office no wo de run office no ena Richard Jakpa a petition eye CID se wo bone pa se onka samon fanto eye finance minister ato force so so simple ade we yetie hu tapes and you need to be investigated. I'm not a judge to claim say so Damiko jail. But you know your interest in that matter. And the reason why some of us we keep on calling on the NDC government to make sure that they sanitize the system. What should be we are Attorney General, not what do huni. Na menkwatia yesi adubu ahe National Security Bureau emfayin kwesi Signals Bureau na se the ways are buying prosecutor na MY security hwejimi yati kromo FBI director krano is under investigations for America FBI Ghana National Security area ye mu ade ani ete no ho yete de Antebui yet dear or assemble ya now Kwabena dubu ahe or catcher cocaine. Never opa for terrorists for bra. As well, na Kwabena dubu in a bush of 1 tigro maybe. Hey, Ayana, Yanumi, MB before. Oh, Nancy. Ya na mpese me de ba no ejina opa na etore bi o mo ka asem a odwene wa odu o mo toto bodam ni wo kura enye yi ongo ka asem krai koka ni emebu Bank of Ghana ni ye nyina na eti krom a ongo ka nye mra ye mesi eye Flagstaff House ye nyina na eti krom ha ase se BBC or Ghana as MPP for no woman so want to have you so still I think they are dealing with madness and omunya adro ya can say we from 2017 2018 2019 2020 2021 22 23 24 mo the opposition ya can this ni abodamu MPP ni abodamu MPP ni abodamu MPP ni abodamu MPP ni abodamu Still, MPP ni abodam. Adia ni kwa se muka no na oka. Adia no mfaso bia ni so. Yaka MPP ni abodamu, wamuguso. So the point is that se Kwabena du buan se obekọ akọka bibi a obekọ akọma security obi amfa ho ana se pani bi so aye bibi a Kwabena adubu aheni mu a na so ma ne betodwa a ye nyina ya pe because amanfo abre se yetwe yede nkrofo mo di position na se emra timi twe wo aso a me pa cho o ga se odame emra no eche no na se emra no jeli no a o ga se ayeni ni etuwe isa ayeni o Dr. Ayeni o ga se ono obeya sa sebe enkwase ade a Godfrey Dame ye no onye. So you see, punishing people, another process, a straighten up system, society, community. Me, I don't believe in the Bible. So make me use Bible that they are changing a community. I don't believe it. I don't believe in the Quran. Quran no Quran they na patapa kakra wom. Ebi extremist for no na ebi omo kenkai ni I don't know. I'm not a Muslim. But I don't believe in Quran. I don't believe in the Bible. Entimis nipa. Eboa ma nipa mo di bone mo. The Bible, the Quran, the Hindu books, whatever, the Christian eboa nipa mani di bone. But there is only one Bible. Punishment chapter 1 verse 5. You both sum nu ani so ada ho. Wan urbo so na manu aye study. Punishment chapter 2 verse 50 says, "Ki yi wachi, uwia o man sika ye yi wachi, ya bo ma sa 150." Yes, Singapore ne ayeye. Omo first president no oya ya wa boma wotinta so wo wi chingam watu atwera bonten wadidi ahabam watu atwera bonten atransfer no a enye se ye fine ya boma boma you who was station circle kokumkumaske jetia akotomra ya boma do giant no na abani tim so ono saa de we onye bi. Punishment chapter 16 verse 20 bonini bu ho awudi a ye no ema so ye bema ema ene mo omobo ye wuro hu nyina ya mo demre wa hu yi no eso nko a ombe boso ma sa po sa 256 boko te so ma e ma be se o ye mo demre boko te so ma e do also a punishment chapter 20 verse 39 ye no de enkwala prayer den no a ye de twi adwaye no so ahu na ya chija ye kola ba ye 500 ye de ahye wo musam de wo ba bi see that thing wo ba bi sa you know so 1500 times na kokobo apie na kokobo apie. Oh, what, because I am so nipa da senino asa. Nipa da senino. I am says punishment. And that is why we keep on telling the NDC government. Some of us, yes, a punishment. In this will be what NDC Mukrana said. Obedi sabe enkwase asema gu yanimu ase a na osuro because say it me punish a MPP for well wo and this ni no en fransa nkoka aban sika en konkonkotu galamsey. Don't do it. En ko inflate your friend say contract. Don't do it. Ya de sika ma say fa ye oman adwuma ya ma o percentage no edaso no wani nso o percentage no eye 1% kra ye no na wanya. Si run system say ya ebe me anya sika de asisi schools ebe me anya sika e de aye ensuo ma nkrofo anom ebe me anya sika e de afande eye energy projects ne enkania bakrom ye benya sika ya akwan ye benya sika ya railways eya so bi wa ha so betumi afa railway betumi afa a train from here to Sunyane Sunyania connect aba ama your friend say ya ji Kentampota chimai na ma oman no mu bie na anigi aba chance ba akofo befa wato Escalade wato Jaguar wato adendien wato dendien. I've been saying this menka se sikanye at least onipa da seni wabobra ukrom wo fie ba ku bia wo maami o se wo papa o ja unuanom o so ko fie abenya ba bi di utrato enkran fu yidie yi wanya ba ko kama bi. Yes na se meyo o my funfram se wo yesa o say o my no wo yesa o destroy o my no enti won't me dia ne one odame e de no en maka no se dakro ya yo nunum betie si odame nkrofo no so no o mo be steady because untimi nkoye sa de we akufo ado ne odame no a time enya de abetimi aye omo ntwema aha apart from that no en maka no hwe Ghana for amutie me ekrom ha okay ekrom ha mamenka asem we emfanwie na Ghana for mo amia nkasam a Galamsey Galamsey your friend is say illicit drugs in Uboni any your friend is say the aba gangsterism say gangsterism aba beka ho na it's so unfortunate say on my yatim no onipa enkrofo a ye hu omo so omo ya kandifo no a ye de ye nkwa ene ye bibia hye omo nsa no eye omo na ye sa o Galamsey no politicians na nanoma hemfo ene asofo ne imamfo omo na etu ayo omo enyo obia Galamsey no de ntimi nsia no nyina no politicians traditional and opinion leaders your friend is say pastors ne chief imam for ena media for ena ewen emasa akronfo enan akronfo nan nipa bonefo ya ye no omo eti oman mu Ghana ohini bia ni ho adwen papa woni tirim but yen kola no yentimi nka mesi Ghana ohini ba kokora ni ho adwen papa woni kwase asem nko a bone nko a no mo frantuma aguso okoka menam yeto gba afede okoka menam ye otumfuo no okoka menam ye gamanche okoka menam ye nairi okoka menam ye domahene okoka but the problems we are facing eye omwa eye Ghana hemfo they are the people omuna edi ewu eye politicians okoka unim se me former president Kufuor de enkana asemu olumai ye kohwe bone a obekwa kohwe bunu bone a Kufuor di o man we no sabi tafra che bodamini kura wanye sa bodamini onye okoka meni Kufuor adu no okoka meni John Mahama no ti ntimi nka o masem. You criticize them, and you see the danger is that almost a common DNA. And they have people. Obu akura no a community. Obu awa try aso obeko President Kufuor ntimi nko. Wa criticize President Kufuor. Oh no they abesie ni o Facebook. No a screenshot to the ama President Kufuor ni pebi. Me na me koma opani me na me instance obeti asem a wo kana mu nyina mo join forces aka kire ne say massa ade a wo ye oman ne yempe but e kom omo say kom de yes impoverish the people and you rule forever omo say kom de me na me health minister me na me finance minister me na me chief of staff me na me say onti enka obi asem but they are the very people destroying us na di bone no they have the money also for tabel o preach yi ni si asese and the Lord God Almighty will pass. And Jesus said to the multitude, come unto me, and I will bless you. Hallelujah. We serve a living God. Hallelujah. Bonini nyina onedie omwa. Na ba ku isu di na mo nchen. Oh, Jehovah Rapha Donatikenu. And we raise the staff of Jehovah. Oh, young boys, you don't know anything. We have fight so many battles. Kwasi asem no mu di kire yo. Wo mu na edi bone no e omo a ye de ani abu fraud boys. Ya no kom di no wanya broni di aka no ene ani abre wo mo so ye di ani abu sa boys no wo mo no di aboni no mo di o mo no boni be no mo di o mo ni boni bia mini efrem ajiansare no I command the cripple to stand up. Mini aframe Ebenezer no. Mini aframe say no. Eye omwa. Untimi nka Sarabatu untimi nka nasem. She Chief Sarabatu o kana sema zongo fo beba bebo. Any a team. enipa yi a wahye kramoche yi a etane ne tiri ho a ne jara bi a tententen na bodwe se no obesebese na no ubeka so sum go kai ko ra no ama bone nko bone wona dia kronfo esie untimi nka yentimi nka ni yeti o man mu eni nyina ya din eni yade ni bu fraud boys yom ni nam omu baabi eji wo mu ani untimi nka yutimi nka skani asem okrom ha untimi nka skani asem okrom ha o yonko ni alaji agongo ade so alaji agongo na ya saade no o yonko ni Kwame despite o yonko ni ofori o yonko ni Ibrahim o yonko ni wahwan o yonko ni wahwan o yonko ni wahwan PK champion ayo sikani ya anje papa no se kwa kutin o yonko no ade so mo na ye osika wo mo ya saade no they are doing it ayo mo anya ordinary people ayo mo na yonko ni IGP na yonko ni military command there na yonko no ayo mo they are doing it. So our situation is very complex one. And now the most dangerous part is that they have become friends. They watch each other's back. Eyo omwa yede anianu abu boys omo fa bucket ko kwayem ensuom ko huru gold nkakra so omo na ye galamse enye omwa enye wo omwa enye boys nwa omo yes ade no omo hyedem omo yes ade no omo wia sankrofo we nyina onima ba bia kwa me ya na mewra ahopa ubo so ma organizing galamse conference ayofo no omo tu no omo na ti first row politicians no omo bua omo no omo ti second row so asofo no omo asese wo omo chei tenti omo nyina aka ho omo ti third row na kromfo pani no bonefo pani no ejina soro no okasa na omo ka galamse ho asem edan no no omo tim no omo ya adwuma no a na egum no kanyame dwiri dan ni kum omo nyina bo se galamse ntu betwa adan nyame be dwiri dan na kum omo nyina maye no se onka politicians ne ahemfuye akwa hia mpanifo ahemfo yi kampanifo be bi wo omu nyina be hia CSOC omu tubi CSOC foi omu tu galamse ni bi me na no program mentie Jonfo GJ president Jonfo omu musa da juma no oye Jonfo na Jonfo busa question why na me dum TV no na ye nimu nsam no kakra no esanse abone for no do so ntino ye ka asem a enkwa akiri ye omu musa Jonfo first pa no me ye no omu musa Jonfo se adwuma be na no oye no nka nkire won CSOs way to be na hwenya mahi se asoja for mpani for no ba na hye omo nantem no mo tewo ento omo tewo nyina no a obi afa prime next prime how a obetu aye hu because say no Ghana for hu e no mo ade abegina auditorium e no mo cheche say galamse mutu di say but omo France so say munyai sa line no mo ache ye ti omo so ye ko solve problems no mo aka omo boa wo mo na etu omo Kwame enye obia sanka ya ordinary citizens like here for to say me no near to come stop here because they never want us to be like them or to become like them or to get to where they are in terms of wealth, riches, man. Omo pese bedru baabi omo oda and senke ye here for in and tu a come stop here dada and they have the power come betimi dia stop here but omo na etu omo ahemfo na afra ntomatufo no omo na etu asofo no ha na etu yeah last week unim say Kwame sofo bi ne na prayer tower atimi akotena Galamsey site aye fasting 30 days because Galamsey ni bana sorry and guy ne beka kire ne say ne concession no na say okobo a onya gold oni na sorry makogu eye asasere so 30 days fasting and prayers no gu ran mu say akwan to Galamsey a gold no emra Jimmy koto ofui mami buba ne bako eno mugura no mu so this person yeah arahosem o Kwame arahosem Ghana Armed Forces commanders ne Ghana police penin at any ahemfo no any politicians in penimfo any asofo no sakrofo we 5 ni imamfo no sakrofo na aka bom no mo ha oman no omo na esay oman no omo wie awia no ma babe Kwame gansa la unim langas egu ahemfo efie ahemfie Kwame meso obi mfasa research we ntu no so langas egu nkrofo ahemfie no you have no clue. They buy them the tramor, they buy them the ammunitions, they buy them the machetes, they feed them the land guards. Politicians now for funny omo for now for sebe ya omo be attack no. Into omo jaya vulnerable ones no amma. Into say ni ewura gangsterism mu ohini bia won gangsters etuo ye license unu group bia omukura etuo edi ohini bia chi a eye omo ana anajo omo soro be armed robbery awia no omo de etuo na kogu ahemfie ho. Yes, that's why now they keep that's where now they keep their arms. And to be police for be criminal be efie no bibia ani ho egu ahemfie anadwo no ma fa no mo de akokum ni pa akobokro no ahomache no mo de aba begu ahemfie ho. Yes, media magia to me say enye ye da your voice ni sha. Your voice ni shot. Minim. But Matthias say, Kwame, sa na nyame abo wiase. Sa bonefo obedi hene. Yes, I have fritete. You can't change it. Into to us see anu ahwe ho yi. They are just evil. Anytime I see them in an auditorium, as someone may come and say, God, just do this for humanity. You didn't go on so cool. Me say that's I basic Ghana hano ye hu betoye at least for the next 5-10 years. Ye hu betoye. Gansasi omo no omo de omo ko ayefo no ye omo langards na politicians so de omo ko e friend say elections into omo wi omo serve politicians no ni ayefo wi a no omo graduate no omo be armed robbers. Police ni suru no, soldier ni suru no. Omo graduate here, no man be armed robbers. And as I say, Kwame omo graduate. And as I say, nye armed robbers in Kwao. Omo be dani daytime gangsters. first pa ye behunu so bibi ensa bebubo obi okura tuo ni ade a Jesu akohwe ye sahil ho videos ni bi akohwe bi ansa no ahunu se ye se esaneba eba kwa me so ahunu de ya na ekoso TikTok no ka shala ye be dai wo utumi ahun body to a odeshi no aprapra ni ya hwe Nigeria movies mu esane saa bedru ha one day and me cast we actually Ghana man one day one beautiful afternoon we will all pay for it awia ebesi awia kete we will all pay for it. You do elections. Now for the akobo ensase. Ene your friend say na konwa ho ban because what the force aju obi akonwa. Eya onye ohene. Into ohia omo dinro. Enti say kwa me onim de omo ye. Ahemfo no they go as far as Niger, Burkina, Cote d'Ivoire. No more mukofom no omo a rebels a omo a disintegrated no e no omo kofa omo no mo do omo aba na one day say omo do omo aba no because already you see they want a way to enter Ghana and as I say they mo de ka kofa omo eba omo basa no omo do so wie no more a number in true be 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000. Now that one moving ya back home who boom say. Yeah. Ebia yetimi akonka adwira. Ya konka adwira no afedi omo komba. Omo dan terrorist. Omo komba. Saa da no eni ebehwe ohina oso onu de odi gold che na ehye. So obetena ho a ye behwe. There was one that was gold kawa. Or he was one that took Ramaya Jawan and Numuso. Where's one that tastes a bosso? When is one not tip on coso? When I saw a day so. Where's one that a akokoso? When I say that day, Yabeshe. That day, Yabeshe. Timon Twaso. Ogo come so mudu. So they are just destroying the country. Yeah, omu wako. To almost say on mine no. Kwame ene Ghana. Also be politics. We a young guy, young girl na onya kronfo. Na nim say dey si din tra. Pani bia mpesa obebe no. Yes. Untimi nko wi ama. Into wo de wo ya dey. Edru election oba be fraud e koboa ye ni enko wi ni. Ba ye wi ni a ye kronfo boys ye nom na ye adwuma. Ompeso obi abehwe nanim aka chense boss ade a wo ye no oye oman no enye enti wo kasa anya Bobie de ne kasa anya dodo enye me kasa na enye wagimi se ye de oman ahye won sa na oye oman no sei wo ya aboa pa wa aboa se ye de oman ahye won sa ye won kwala a se ye hwe wo mo hwe se ye friend se Kwame we la hospital hwekwa akufado num de la general hospital hwekwa om de la fo fa so hwekwa om de om fa so enti sa politician no sa no ompe obi a wo de nche abetumi aka chense boss adewe this is not right dabi omompe bibini no bibini eno no yebetumi akowia boss yebetumi akowia yenkowia mra so we are breeding criminals. That could be nyina nsem. Ni eni so atie. Eno no. Haiti. Kwame, Haiti. Ye twa ni petite said ye twa akokoti. Armed groups oh. Say Haiti, armed groups obi apeso take control. Obi apeso take control. Haiti. Obasha ni Haiti asase say ya o. Na nyansani bia ni kromu ano obeka ho asem. Ajimi fo nko ati kro ai kromu bo. no mo tena wo hwe sa ana boom Haiti Mexico armed gangs yetimi chi abusuo ba kom nipa 30 40 massacre twa mo nyina ti agu amnam ada beto politician bi wo Ghana ha na ohene bi wo Ghana ha no that day they will probably wake up me osuma me ebekumi a amai but yanya yanchirima ne saa yenni ho bone why omuma akufo adumani nyina Africa na o ba akokura ni ha yeah ombeta ko gwa so mjeje diplomatic passports ni ade ebinum dual citizenship say di aba no omu nyina ama MPP NDC owie na brabo owu a nachi de ebesi bia no onim se mema they can just move out of the country enti yenkoso na wie Kwame yenko sampa
Be given. There's no slap on the wrist. What's the least sentence? 15 years to start because it flows through his constituency. And so there are some successes, but like he said, we still have the PRA, we have the Densu, we have the Birim, we have the Ofin and all of them. But that means that we must get more manpower. The Blue Water Guards have started work, and a lot of them are deployed on the Ankobra River. So far, we've recruited 1,000 of them. We pay them an allowance of, if you take away deductions and other taxes, of about 1,500 cedis a month. And so if we have 1,000 of them, and we pay about 1,500 a month, it means for a year, you're talking about roughly 18 million cedis. And that's for 1,000 of them. And so if we scale up, then it means that we need more money to employ more of them. But I endorse it because it gives them an alternative source of income. Because as they are fighting the pollution of our water bodies, they are also earning an income as a kind of alternative livelihood. And so that is something that we'll have to scale up. And so the Minister of Finance in doing the budget must make extra provision.
Yeah, Sampa and so quite sharp, the mum no, the abbas is here, and shall say, friend, Brown of Papa 11, and I you who say, pick up on a whoso, a feet, and white. If I will a bay in but to pick up the man on the cook, yeah, a back, yeah. If she had the hair, they say, what's that here? Almost to two. A tutu on the course, so I'm almost signed your money chair, Sampa his feet, and Komuka Kura and his fear. 80 depends on more mobile in fear of by any Busia. And once that his few also, yes, a mompene, and my uncle for them, Mamira in fear. If it's a more who soon won't mean for winning chess away, as you may see, and I say, you cannot make a tom winning now. 80 or one penny, my penny, and penny. Yeah, making no one say any a 2 to 4. A man cut out winning with it at 2. You have a better will feel so on also boy in view home by a socket at 2. 80 a much 2 on the course, so 80 patrol team, which some patrol team are now or more duty aviano. Now or more men who into your Munyan class, a BB air coso. And maybe a ethics and chess and penny fee. Patrol team need to car. The quite so a mobile. And my phone be to edit check and I'm so Emma police needed their home prepare Emma what they can cook ram them. And I'm so police need back or Ashton and Qua and Ra. na yegusu nti free no aba ne bia da kuro no mo ayemanyamanya nti anɔpɛ regional police commander ifisi yani ba sampa senka mo de pɛrɛpɛrɛ yɛ ɛba beto sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a asomwie betumi aba ohwɛ Ghana Police Service ɔmo page ɛwɔ ntɛntɛnfidie so a ɔmo akyerɛ sɛ ɔmo de asomwie aba sampa asomwie ne baeɛ na akyi no ano ɛnya bɛyɛ dɔnhwe mmienu ɛna tututuo no ɛsan ɛkɔɔ so bi na
awie
yɛ me ne wɔkasa yɛ
wo ayefa wo sampa ho
mewɔ sampa krom
enti awie ya betu a wese go ase ahyase bio
ahyase gidigidi a tututuo ɛkɔ so gidigidi paa
omo na omo use pick up white no mo free hin
nkyɛmu deɛ yɛntimi nkyerɛ sɛ ɔmo yɛ abusua E anaasɛ abusua B na mmom no yɛkɔbaeɛ sɛ ɔmo asan de ɔmo ani akyerɛ sampa ahemfie hɔ no ɛna ɔmo susu sɛ ɛbɛtumi a ayɛ Nana Jafra ne nkurɔfoɔ ɛfiri sɛ ɔmo baa sɛ mɛnka sɛ ɔmo baa for attack nti ɔmo baa attack.
No, but what I mean is omo free omo ye kromafo anase ohwe a omo free baabi na be wura kro no
ya maske omo anim nyina omo akata omo anim nyina nti ntumi identify say we anase we nti ida say omo free kromo ha anase omo free baabi foforo no isi ne yentumi nkyerɛ sɛ si mesika ho nti yenim baabi omo free bae.
All right, thank you. Famous Buadu, famous here that's pa monitor yen because ye pick another information be or other nearby towns. Yeah, Bay Sampa. Monitor my the air coso. Now I show we why Pacho.
Okay, and then Sampa market.
All right, okay.
You on a course, Robert Hester, the chronomosia. Any the course of my fact. Now I'm ready.
Okay.
The same no kasi obi ani ho was sampa kum.
I see.
Why di bambo fo nkwa na age abos.
Na bambo fo want here then na still about 2 hours ago. Omutimi sa be wura mu bio.
Bambo fo ne dos wo kum mu ha nkasa na kum ha bibi no. Ti bisi a aya na omo nhye dan emfa bambo fo ho saa o.
So,
Sana krum haki. Se BBC a mon shadan fa bambo for hosa.
I see. Wow. Terrible. Anyway, all right. Yeah, that's it. Oh, okay. So my main choir Juma Ewe Mekao sir and Yenya Solomon Usu a spokesperson Movement for Change will join us and Haruna Mohammed will join us. But Mausi Mawonya Fear, Director of Communications sorry. No, Pacho Monfancheme. I beg you. Monfancheme. Enka Mekoka friends say Suwa. Asem ni IT Soa, acting head of communications, National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons, and also I will say, but so we are very uncommon, so that we will just move on because now. But at least you understand the issues, and so I say. Ghana the kind of arms boys in Ghana what is happening?
Yo, Midasi. Well, the issue about arms say Obia Kratua it breaks down the rule of law because the BBA Obia Antunubo Yema adwini nyansa nkasa obehua na eto because eto we sunsun ekyerɛw deɛ wonyɛ wokra tuo pɛ ɛto bɛkyerɛw deɛ wonyɛ enti ɛbɛpa amanfoɔ nyinaa kyerɛw sɛ yɛngyae ɛto no a yɛtotɔ no.
No, but a friend says small arms commission ɛyɛ dɛn na nkurɔfoɔ ɛtuo ate sit saa what happened?
On say nyama bebree so it starts from the regional yewomuna from the Sahel.
Pacho me basis ya. Mamene Chief Inspector Thomas Akila. Police Relations Officer, Abno Regional Police Command, in Komo. Chief Akwaba.
Mejoso.
Boko de Minia Penny. Erade nti ekuremu. Aja Sampa. Wada Roma. Ede na ekoso yi.
Yo. We never kunya na mincha eti ko nyina. Anopei Regional Command, we issue press statement. Extraction, the airport or something. And no, in an interior, a family will be a some cacao or some would be any samba Jafra group or more crashing or market area of Emma to airport. So until you deploy patrol team or Mokoe. So Monkobo now bring the situation under control. Omogusuno what we hear say almost she store to be or Tampa area of market area of next year auto fire service for any ambulance service Emma Omokoyo Nodima. Ye konemi na etu di kasae Emma ko police for so Emma ye try police for nipa be watch any try. And so, yeah, you almost call to you treat you. I'm almost okay. But I did Accra. I'm a ready for financial hospital. Obviously, all the
I got Thomas. Okay, say a two Jaigu Musua. Was it an attack? And I say a accident. What just which?
Because I know there was an exchange of firing between the group of Mumino. And he means baby a reporting. And no my car no a coffee at the driver no name taking Dudonan Kubu so I'm a lose control my car no and the car no so say I'm a nipanon so only do some of the treatment.
Yate say yani a reporter kasai no see be 2 hours ago I didn't say pejan ho den. What is happening?
Yeah, BT up security. If you anywhere in and see some no situation remaining calm Accra100.
And I make us say yeah reporter near Kasa no be 2 hours ago. Because you say free run am take control. Yeah no pay no near your monitor. But the Kasa says here no say na as a petty kakra. Is it that those groups no omu kromo na muntimenchi omu na say munya omu na so omu free kromo.
I'm say command no ye o say yen say that anti oho na nkata no. Omu bitima ko she baby aye bata kitu abi nti ye tipe ne ya rush ho na yakwa ebitimi aso ano. Sanity.
But I say munya obi anche no.
Ya see investigators no go monte so a omo ye di madin say the binya omo chioma na ye di omo kujira mo.
Me pacho timu bi mame. Munya obi anche no.
Sisi a me no kasa die. Me nyanya report bia but me say ya see investigators no go monte so a omo ye di madin apesa ankofo na chioma na ye di omo kujira mo na Emrano seni omodi ni so.
Uncle Thomas, I say we mama ni unu nkomo because ye nyina e Ghana for. We kra de enka eye ho asemi. Uncle Thomas, we minim say when ye fikakra. Say de etu asi akodi boys nsem wo Ghana ha. Enye bono ana asampa nko ahụ. Medni akase say almost every region gang for group ebisi ahimfie ebisi aso for them ebisi a police for them anya hagre
na am say no so ale dumade na omo ni ko tu sa yaje na ye saka omo so ale
Uncle Thomas ye be adwumadin police focus ayi na wo kan you we na me ofa bi chief inspector was secondary enkatia ye bo a ne kasa yi bia na wo kan adwumadin mo yes but every day Uncle Thomas agi ensemo
And to say a papa, and you can be room wasn't built in a day.
But you see, it's not like I didn't know and Kwabena, because even before I will call police crano, now penny for no so can ya Jumadin. There be a Jumadin, so I didn't know so quana air cosunti a Jumadin Beno.
And American, Yabamu, Yabamu, and you can say criminals are always one step ahead. You have to move a step further to get them arrested.
Yo, Yati, and yeah, you better ask, so we be Nina and Tias, you better be in common. Okay, Uncle Thomas, me pass you on the was. All right, so you're back to the studio, and then it's a money police when you pay. Yeah, Jumadin, and you Jumadin, no. What kind of hard work na de bia? Yeah, Jumadin. And so at the end of escalate. What is that?
Okay, so thank you very much. In a society, there are dynamics. Now, what be our question be? Say, I told no, eba, good. And na me can say nyama bebre. One, we share Sahel, any Gulf of Guinea. We share nyama Kosu, civil unrest nyama. Emma etono edos wo ho na say etono etumi recycle eba other countries like Ghana because of where we are positioned enti nipa no pe sika op sika dia aye bibi etono obeba betono very cheap ewo ha no dia ko finance ni nyama opese in terms of terrorism ni any nyama no enti through the Sahel ekokoso they are able to get these firearms into the country. Now, the other reasons are Emma etuwe doso ewa say ebimu wo musuka omo feel say baby omo dino if they have the firearm it shows class.
Really?
Yes. Eventually uno be to make us me here too. Or say he needs it for protection by any protection or feel say baby where do no it shows bravado, it shows class. Well, and to serve for now, so editono. Meanwhile, they don't even know how to use these firearms. And to say, Accra100 are now criminals. To show uswa because on in say who to oba prepared. Now so oba pe won say obedi to no obedi say to no every we same. Now so odia na no so be can illicit firearms no. Enti nyama ma etono eba krom no edoso. Baby, you can't ask them no. Me starting with Kaya. Say, etu no, it says susum. Ukra to a ema unju and no natural de won ye. Minister okay, achimota. Obi ni tenant. Akasa. U rent so tia, me tia say. O say metro. I'll show you where power lies. Okofetu. Pay welcome no we can oshim we are sure say to no ha aka
Say go baby.
Say a chiso cry the ombe yan say fisticaus ombeku ade say be pata no na kan ejo. That's why we are saying say to dos wo o menu a break down rule of law there say na yentina table hu na yenkasa no won say yen obia pese ochre ne tumi oba ko fa etuo now wo bi say dey na ye enyama no ye bebre but
answer na me kono illegal ones no a doso illegal ones no doso do
ampa enu na me chero how are illegal ones no bear no and the role we play as citizens to make sure say illegal arms no doso dey be ameka etuo eni nine and to me nanti nipa na ema eto nanti then Accra100 I was at one but we don't volunteer information
but member office no cry friend say
small
arms say more the mandate some betimi a movie around effective arrest with people who are cry illegal arms, right?
Okay, so we don't have the mandate.
You don't have the mandate.
Yes, we are seeking for that mandate now. We don't have the mandate. Say police enforce those laws no.
So what role do you play?
Okay, so per your mandate no. We suggest policy directions to the Honorable Minister for the Interior, and then then he implements. But the challenge there is this: best practices are, say your political authority and our governing authority, now your regulator, and sana the law enforcer. The law enforcer being the police, the regulator is supposed to be the Small Arms Commission, and then the governing or political authority, I the Ministry for the Interior. But you see, I know there's a gap. We have the Ministry of the Interior, the political authority. We have the enforcer, but aka regulator na afi obeto me aye sanyama say to ensure say proliferation no ebeba form no aka because our mandate no and my inquiry also we say we can't effect the arrest. Police and say you say and the police is actually fighting general crime.
Per mudata no. Fana sa illegal arms no dodo no ano ewo. I ewo ahimfi ana se ewo ghettos ana se ewo forest galamsey for nsemu ana se ewo politicians no how.
Okay, right. So thank you very much. Unim. Third survey. Actually etudodo a ewo omenyu. Any
registered and non-registered
ni bibia, but by the end of the year survey no ebepa ntuma nti I don't have the clearance to speak to those figures yet and now to speak concerning those figures
because Oba commission
where
do we say
almost 6 years
into previous moye no yana memka enka we previous no moye no yana enfo na warm ho
on say person we effective arms control data 10 years yɛmfa yɛ adwuma is about 10 years old and current one and menu kaka say
so data mo yɛ within what time say be am annually and I say mo yɛ 5 years which is
all right so yeah survey no due to lack of funds and survey no every 10 years. But we are trying to get financial support. It will be shorter than the 10 years. But you know, say agencies no also. So that is the challenge we have.
No, the point is hold on. Over the years, a new commercial politician. Over the years, they say aban and shed and resource small arms. That is the point.
So that is one of the challenges. Yes, we have that kind of challenge in terms of finances. So now we can say, that challenge. If we have the resources and can lesser than the 10 years, because it will.
When we say Omo become ano abonten say ye kutia a two illegal arms and so mo ni sika mo de ye adwuma meboa so omo aseda.
For the finances it is a challenge. Even staff the resources apart from we are
your profession to person obeka says omo boa be person ka say a challenge.
Yes, it's a challenge because once it is a challenge then you can't overcome it.
You never bro kroma you never minimum say so keep you position now you pay. Now say any pay ya de pa wo sisi ya nyina we at risk. One kan kire so omo boa ska no omo fama. And I say we need share we kire no aka kire.
You ask a question and I'm answering the question. Who Sam say what are the issues? Make sure you challenge financially because make sure say
when they come out and they do their symposiums and whatever, they tell us that we are empowering a small arms commission to work blah 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 blah.
Well, I have not heard that. The government gives us funds, but we are challenged financially.
Okay.
Because Seskano, enough. Now, they say, we would have done so many things like this. Savina making, every 10 years, lesser than the 10 years, so that it will help impact the effective small arms control.
For the 6 years our year Juma or Bepimen and Munye any data analysis.
Data analysis, quarterly analysis. But the major Savina, Ansah, this is the third one. Yes.
Any third one. Since small arms commission, your motive, we need third one.
Yeah, this is the third survey.
Ni maybe.
Oh, ebe. Only the data maker say ebe. Oh, say honorable minister. Oshia Park. Okan Bibi, and that because our sister radio station say that made me happy as a staff of the commission, because me starting me can share with best practices. Yeah, identify where the gaps are, and I enumerate. I'm an honorable minister. Say the gaps are identify, and this is how we can plug those gaps, and the commission can be resourced, empowered in terms of your mandate legally, now so that we can effectively fight the proliferation. Only park can about the manual process of registration in Yama. Just say while admitting some of the gaps are commission no about the rules say it needs to be fixed. So they become say what issue. Once you identify what issue, it puts you in a position. Say now you think of solutions to the issue. But when you behave like the proverbial ostrich, you pretend say there is no issue. Now the teacher former can say we body know our bunting. So for that he did, and I can tell you, say I'm not talking like a politician. The me who and I me can Oba is one of the ministers who has been very committed to the process of reviewing our law.
Okay.
You started law over 10 years I started so that it will give us the mandate. So now we say so that we can go after these people. Then the police will do law enforcement. Commission no better regulatory work no. You can say Oba or promise during the meet the press no. Say Obama series of meetings to review. Those meetings have come on. Deputy by chief director Subaye, they were there with us for 3 days reviewing the law. But what I say? And you know, processes eguso. Once we have these things, and only and the minister is going to table out certain policies and these policies will help us to fight the proliferation of small arms in the country. And the deputy honorable minister for the interior, all these things are based on the third survey.
Okay, maybe no about the because maybe my name is Mr. Kwesi Boateng Irenchi on the APR of the Man National Peace Council. My friend of Kwesi. Of Yakaba.
Ija.
Boko. Nyami adum boko na mpacho we.
Asunje kwanso yesi ohunye.
Ami. Eja Kwesi ye di nkomo bia wie na menim se nkomo e mu interest wo mu a. Eja Kwesi se ye dru baabi a. Wo hwa ya se friend kola bi ba Shaka Boys. Omo ye gang fu. Ubeso social media na nkola 4-5 no mo de ntuma akokwa achichire wo mo nsa no mo kuratuo wo deshi alla mashaka edie so wa hu sa nkola no nsam ni bi no
mbatra ni je hu kwa
wo hwa yese gang we enanu yese gang fo mienu bi ewo western region ya omukwachi ba ko she batakere a omobo no ama ni jane nan no so uhwe bi sa video no hwe sampa yesi ye no 2 groups say a chance ye wala Liberia do no time wo hwa sisi ade aba akoso aba wo hini bia wo gangefo krom hayemfo nyina wo gangefo wo mo an say land guards. Opani Peace Council enti ade we ya mon ka ho asem ne ehunu amo
Yo, that's no kwenya odi amai. Then I can say gang for no. Who trend no say developing. Na since me free you can say school you should be near course for honor town. And you go so ye di home komo department back where capacity building. Idea ye in here ye di hu juma e hwe ne betumi aye. Idea so ano. Na nya o ka se ahemfo ne nkeka ho ewo gang de din ni se sa na ti o man mu bia da magu no na ne se bi ejuma omuni ne nkeka ho na e de sa nyeman yi ba enti ya yeguso e de hu nkoma ehwe ne be ya so ano ma o ye ni
eja kwasi enti Peace Council munni ene records bia na se munhu da se ubonso ohini we ba boys bia be 10 12 obia kura pump action obia kura tu pacho bi da
ye hu no se ye nim se asafo ho ne friend say rectina omobo omone ahene edi omodi enani mede na okoba na nkeka ho se bi ho mpo a minim so se police for bi so edi enim eba ba
eja kwasi
o kan se
o se unhu da se ahemfo ewo Ghana ha wo ba ubehwe boys 10 12 obia kura pump action and as a pump action no ekura omo no to the Peace Council no normal
enya normal nyame kan se no enya it's not the collective way in the country say ohini bia wo nkola omukura pump action gun yeah kan se no they need to say meaning say small arms for our panel no so
yes
we are all trying to work together to ensure that all our guns are registered yani ahemfo no kasa di nkomo se na ebe ya ebe ma asumdue aba oman. So it's we are yegu so aye.
Wadaruma, when was the last time amone a traditional council din komowe?
Oh, let me ask you International Peace Day on 21st we impo yani binumu kasa or regions ni na nkeka hu na.
Say ajakwasi
meba. Yeah, can say ahemfo yi ebinum mpoti board so governing board so ahemfo omo rep National House of Chiefs omo rep and it starts across all our regions. Enye Accra100 national happening we know.
But no, and I make no. Did I raise say because me asantuma born me free, and I won't take me chrome out. And the young mama say, oh catch me say, my young man when fear do no numini. Sabe encanted no, and can you sign it here? And on him be any chroma say obesia bontia, on him rantia beye a dunuma, omunkra a two pump action. Yes, sir, it's not fair on my part, say Ubebu bidin wa mobidin. But I can tell you, me chromo him free. It's everywhere. It has become a norm. And tell me one was there. Also, I'm shocked. Of course, I'm shocked. I'm really shocked.
That are normal.
I'm shocked. So, because oh, no munina kakrabi.
Yeah, cannot say also where you're Jumayache. And Kaya can say yes, statistics. See that year or my in data yade kasa.
Now,
we don't have that data to speak to. We've observed it. Yeah, who say a coso. By encounter or my mube bia or Nibiana or Uncola Anna Mebu Omodin chini pump action gun. Also can't say Omoa Swan a gala Messiway.
Messi Galamse no kura ka ho.
Ose Langas.
Langas na Galamse no. Eye won a eye sankwala no so won mo wura mu no. Won mo na kura tuo no. Won mo na befi.
We need to speak to data about it. Research be akoso and say just observation.
Na me pacho.
We need to also be I will say fair ama omanfo nyina say.
Ovagasi. Muna e ho aja mosre aban sika kakra nya kase bia na eba. me abansi ka mam ho enti mun show concern enye any survey da eya nka mbetumi a kire ye data say oh etisa entisa munye bi da
yegu chief
yeah
ni jemu a yegu so aye hu adwuma ye survey wo secondary school we na e course ne nkeka nyina ye akra atro hu MOU ama nsore ne kunku amu school no say on be ma tolerance akoso yegu so a make me boy capacity department yeah omo koso omo ye ncheche we are engaging and there are kasempo empini for be fra otamalia omo guso omo dis ankita hodie enti enye se yenya ho hwe ye guso ayeye membe ya ho ande na ntimi ndru bebi ha enti na ye prayer se collaboration be koso ni mo nzenchofo na ye ne atimi adru
ndio ofagasi se ebia mo ahodi na enu bebia enti muntimi nsore enkasa we anyi musika Accra FM anyi musika Peace FM anyi musika Adom FM anyi musika City FM anyi musika enti ade no mmom hu se even kakra bi mpo na mo hu a mmom hu se mo be sore aka kire Ghana mpanifo se hey bebia o man na ekono enye fe na edi asem beba dabi eya ndigi se mo bom apro ye mo research ni bibia awie
me kidi se ye djuma no enye bia na ebetimi our levels of engagement enye bia na ye de beto ejase gidi yani media de beto nsentro for djuma ekura ni se se na eko se na ni nkeka ebi oho a mpinifon ko hia nkokwam eka ni esi ye ntwe ye nyina ye ka cho enti aye strategy a ye use ebi a o koka bibi kakra no de tuja na nkeka ho and the main actors no who say oh bibi a no de tuja na nkeka ho o china bi ono so be din ahwe enti ya de se bi a ye
na over actors no obi ya de enye na wo krokro nipa no se wan hwe ye na ye se ni se ya na mboni die say Bobie Ansah na ya Bobie ade we wu na wo ye jai eye dia se nye bon kam nkan boni o man
di se what nye ya ye eja boku die ya ekoi entwe ye yaka school ntentemi omo ye politicians amodi omo hu share electoral violence ye entwe ye yaka ni nyina sebio ni omo koye o ablekuma not ya tro hu krata dia ba so we are we are meeting the key stakeholders. Answer the better question. The main key holders.
They we cried sa ahono hiame. Me
no, I was saying
meba. Say baby a yedru no. Say mo engagement no. Me paucho se me kasana antwa ya na de acheme obi be ka se mo engagement ni nye effective ntini na every politics abedru gangs whereby young guys ewo gang omu use to for fight engagement na se nka mo engagement ya okekan ya effective akia ba bedru sei ade na enye we say oh we are engaging people afedi ade na free enye one akopem enye ses we still we are engaging. What are you engaging?
No, so we can also stop engaging. Act no we are supposed to bring up mechanisms to prevent conflict in the first place. One, and the prevention the juma na and the crowd so be and for to or the year way. Now so near koso. The juma ni ho na nkeka obi pe 1,000 cedis and now we ma youth now. No nya we are trying very hard to also counter that, but it is not also any idea yebetimi aka say numbers no cost nti yebeja say ana yebetu yensa guwiem so adwuma yentimi nyebium nti kakra we are working small arms man no wo a obetimi ebisa no we are engaging with them, engaging with the police and everyone on board say yebetimi act a bit faster and a bit swiftly and of course effectively to counter some of these things.
Yo.
Juma yegusu aye.
Yo. Eja kwesi, ye be da se. yɛde mpaebɔ bɛtaa mo akyi yɛda ase bebree
yo yes yɛda ase ne akwanya ɔde ama yɛ
yo
ɔman nso yɛ hia obiara ehia yɛn so nti ɛbɛkɔ so abɔ mpaeɛ ɛkɔ so ɛyɛ adwumaden a yɛyɛ
yo yɛda ase
yo yes yɛda ase
ye Eja, come on, Sam.
Yo, Midasi, Ubisa say, Edena, on say, in the midst of the challenges, no, we are still doing things to make sure, say, there will be effective arms control. Arms control, anyway, it's not just a one-stop gap. Different processes, any approaches, and I will be carbon. Na ye. First one, to show the commitment. Me boss, Dr. Adam Bona. Oba say executive secretary. The first thing was to go to the Bobu Ulomos Palace. That time no na omukwe madabi ayebe outdooring ni outdooring installation bi na eto ekokan no. Enti yokoho to commiserate with the Bobu Ulom. Any nwa etimamfo. Ye no. Ye research. So you call Teshi Nungwa Tema. And I any focal group discussions after your research in Yamano. And then you will say a 12 traditional authorities, the AUC doing festivals in Yamano, say yet to anamo. And to commission no, the make you can call the Babulom to verify. Ye do ye pilot case. Say yes, start here free ho. We went far, but almost started omowono. Say ye chuchuna class omu ya na ye ya chuaso. Then na ye. We were looking at SOPs, standard operating procedures, guidelines. Ebe govern etuo na traditional authorities no use no because ye were two some you see. You throw a no cap gun, and no you see charge gunpowder. After the ye di ba say be ya omo a ye see asafa me menim say na tree for no e friend bank for friend asafa cheme omo bo bo to no
I say I fear boys no
o say wo nkan for no nkofo a omo bo to e friend asafa cheme enti omo nyina no said particular tag ye be mo omo ana say uniform a on be hye enti say emre no do na commission any the police any allied security agencies no omu obi e dey afashe na ye ba ho abehwe wo ni sa tag na emrani wedi ye bechi because these are some of the guidelines etu no kra no ye be bia friend no amory assessment e say hwe bebi omu di say etu no kra asie omu di sie yie ankofo and to me free outside and be fafa say to no enfa ko di boni etu no dey etu no mu yisi de eni kwa mu say omu yesu no na omo surrender they say omo say omo betumi use no
na yes ni ye wo nyina no yes me Sebita Frache me free traditional area so we know say ahemfie or any biara across the country because of the olden days war near the identity no that symbolism where ohini move a na say afashe festival bi wo wa omobotu no but what I know sa
cap gun and your charge gunpowder
but say they are using pump action
and that is what the commission is trying to solve.
AK-47
and no na ye person anything na we say ya start minu ka say yani national house of chiefs ni nyama akasa enti say ni babulomo ehwe na ye implement wo ho na if because you say you have TT problems nyama ebe fifi wo ho na ya solve afi na ya escalate but we've spoken to them and they are ready you escalate and now it will boil down to enforcement say wo ye frɛ wo ho wo nka sa asafo acheme no ho wo ni tag wo nko because eto no kwa wo bokra na wo angle say wo di kire wo say say wo kra no hwɛ de eto well it didn't na ka guidelines no ho. And these are some of the things this is just for the traditional. Now, so what about like the indigents? Two things are happening. They may not know about the dangers of illegally owning firearms. But say I can say a Fabia Mesa woman, a bit more omonim. Now, so Chese or Moon Pesa Ombeye, they saw Omoye. That's why we ask that people volunteer information. Miminu Eka say, ya public sensitization. A big crown Nami, yeah, in person.
Bama, yani afraid.
Meaning, some guys say, once I'm away,
yani afraid.
Once I'm away, but so once I'm away, public education. But so what
you say? Oh,
let it be for me. We are saying, I don't follow because no family without any prior notice. Some people are we not family. Yeah, in person. We can say there were 6 regional offices and 8 border communities. The office of 8 border communities. Some Ashanti region before school shoot we were doing because your research. We started. Who call the pages Nusu website? We started from 3 years ago engaging the schools because now I hear research.
Yeah, research.
Say you try the proliferation and you baby and the vulnerabilities. Now yeah the alcohol because you won't say because video be I sending me from Ashanti region. Your officer now Ashanti region or sending me no student on Facebook or the Coca-Cola. Bottle no, and yeah, bottle nakata no. Plastic one.
Yeah, can one.
No plastic one.
The bottle. Okay. Plastic one. Sure.
Me see. Or the ayet wo.
I had to say come back in the enemy no.
Me see. Na abubo stone and the shemu. Me see bra. Ordinary eche na so a body. Or boss I don't know the body na. Say I didn't pay no. Me can say no. Akwa way. Our internet say he can be a target for this terrorist any nyama. These are some of the things that informed us. Me see yako say any kodano the kind of information they have on weapons, the omunim weapons and easy. That is what made us start sensitizing them. And most of these schools and even the public. The new transport sector, Akasa, beginning of this year, my boss will buy transport all the people who matter in the transport sector. You know, by unim, any nine. The people hide it in their bags or whatever, and then they convey it to other places. And to the trauma, security things they will look out for, and some of the things they can get to also ensure, say, we all protect our space. The transport sector will not become a weak link. You ever fast that. Smuggle or transport firearms across the country. These are some of the commitments. Yeah. Now, need police and allied security agencies. No, we do what we call stockpile management. About a year or 2 ago, you need donor support. You refurbish 3 armories of the Ghana police service so that they will meet best international standards. Say be ya nkofo gang, say na can gang to me and sorry and to share police no so to go and take their weapons from their armory. Nina is part of ensuring say they are effective arms control because say one yes na eto na ebeba me people to fall into the hands of wrong people. Meaning say okay some years back a Kobe per se okay say in the Volta region.
Yeah.
They were able to take control of
police armory. Yeah.
And later military for no retrieve.
Yeah.
But now no yes we did it for the Greater Accra Regional Command. So there's no way you can have access because it means international standard. Security near tight. So these are some of the things that we are doing, but we need people to volunteer information. Onim, Tashi, there was a man, Okra Pisa, or the terrorizing Nkofo. Obi, my information. Minu can say, Yandaso, because yan Pem wasn't a bear, you better make the G sign to a war.
Only make us say, away. Oh,
yeah, to no finish. No, Yamani bill, and investigation. Yamani bill. The entire money bill say, Omusha, no, now our license at one. But ye Jefferson because Mremono, Yamau, to me, cars, I saw Uber Kratuna, ye child, dear, as we need, and just a way. Say, Mau Tua, you don't have the right to be brandishing the firearm and be shooting anyhow. It's against the law. And manager say, this is a withdraw to the IGP or give permission. Say, to na ya license sama on crown over to me a year P. And now we just 23 now.
Oh, yeah.
Or see, firearms no, and you're by right. Say, your bell license amount. It's a privilege. And one D say amount to me cartano. Now one this one. It can be taken from you.
Anyway, live at Accra100.5 Citizen Show. Ghana for Bono Regional House of Chiefs issue a statement, and I think we have a copy here. So, press statement by the Bono Regional House of Chiefs on Sampa Chieftaincy dispute. When you say baby ade no kekakono yeah no, okay, change it baby ade no kekakono ye hu kakra, and I hope say obi abebo ama ya fight ya ni edeba semina de beja Ghana for before you leave the studio.
Onim de be am ka say you call international conferences in Yamai. People respect and envy the peace we enjoy. Na ya wo mind ba ko pe. Ya peace I enjoy say ya hwe ye na ye di into to asem ese na ni bo be ya din amayen. Because peace everyone say one who person wonya no back enya easy sa na se kan so abekom no enya is because kai bet me dey asesi oman no na say nyina eco security enti e be pa future we should trust in the security apparatus. One will say ye call akoti the allied security agencies led by the police ye dey share by say ni eco pepe. It is a trusting obia young fine to or we will not be interested in owning firearms. We will trust in the rule of law. Ebeboa, ebema ejumano. Akoye so that we will have effective arms control. Now, kwakra in the trust we need to volunteer information. Say me can say Sunday obi my information. Yeah, do it me to me come. But on my Sunday I am boss. Ankasa one chama me mkrapo my reply or no answer no ni pano edeli because ya sign information to act because say who name say who to me name say we so to e be den ya adwuma and if you see something say something muhu ya me bia any information give it to us do say ya register o license you would my information say corner ya register na onya no on you see to no say na say o you say ya beji na o ye nafa mra kwan so ma o person my information na your WhatsApp number so that if it's a video audio picture my please call me cry e be free because information no here enti o ba me kwan na me number no enti o be to me I was up here on 059 907 0944 059 907 0944. Over to me so Africa Ghana Police on toll free number 18555 18555. Yes.
All right. Ne, it has to be real. Sorry, only about Bekasa. All right, so that's it live in Accra100.5 Citizen Show. Nkomo we nkomo bia ehia me pa. Ade no a eba no. Ye underestimate ade no a eba no. Se yanhwe ni ya. Se yanhwe ni ya. Those ignorant people on social media Yeah, they just want to say something now in Crawford. You just leave them. In every country, we have stupid people. They are very stupid. And they don't care. And I know I'm say, boy, be a friend is early deciato, so I so kumase. And maybe yes, a boy be Obi wa okra. Yes, say or what to say. A friend say, yes, social media, or they use it to make money. So they like, we don't, there be any bedroom, we don't have time. Yeah, dangerous weather, and we need to be very, very careful. We need to be careful. See, I'm shiny here. All right, so when I come back, Gabi Wachidako tape and Minia Solo and Haruna Mohammed about joining a war if you Gabi Wachidako say a Ashanti region MPs and a Becatre woman say Ashanti region sa a phrase interchanging name. Sanya mane Crowfroom market no ehia wo pe mpotemu rules na na yo matimi anante yo mo ade yeah yo mo ade we da say Gabi Wajidako ama omo hu say na lungu na hia lungu hia city lungu na important part city
the city development
sa
yeah that's it
na Gabi no ehunu nyansa ama achimfo ayetals ewosie
what do you say
at cemetery kura o ayetals na oduru kumaso aka kire o se mo MPs na be ka kire me ofa akufu ado se yeah. So projects ahodo anego ni nya na se o mu jaima ne guo cause kumase Ashanti region for omu hia Aferi hospital omu fanya hwe omu hia Crowfroom market omu fanya hwe omu hia eye kejetia phase 2 omu fanya hwe anambwa
development kra enye NDC na development kwa Ashanti region
and America no there be say Gabi Wachidako asem ne say MPs no be ka kire ne say one ne wo fa say sa nyina omo fanya hwe
enokura lungu no ni hifa na omo ye kumase lungu
fa hino wose eni akwaya nkrofo fa so kope ma de so omo ye bi papa
eno ni
ene ofa ni
eno ni
sa ya no na MPP for Asante for wa MPP mu omo se sa na omo pe kumase Asante for MPP mu
omo pe no sa
omo se sa de Gabi ka no sa na omo pe kumase nti NDC di empuntu oba ya Asante for no a ya to aba ma NDC no ya ni abra ya lobby ya ni abra ya lobby se empuntu oba kwa Asante region no no omo bu afu ye o ta Asante man pa ada ya waka cha jo mama so mesi kejetia phase 2 enti o ta Asante man pa ena omo a frafrafo ne kanjagafo no a yawo omo kumase no a omo Elizato no frafrafo no yo madane Asantefo no ubusan so e frafrani o se da bi onya frafrani ono ya Asanteni omo no na ti kumase no omo te warning
say
say omo na otufo wu ya omo na edi ade
omo hia city development omo hia lungu
omo no frafrafo ne wo omo kumase ti say Elizato no omo na ka kire ye Asantefo ne say otufo wu ya omo na edi ade enti ye hia mpuntu wo ho o de omo hia say ekuru nya tantantan na
lungu ya fe
omo ni lungu
so da omo ti me di go of 2 no go of 3 ni na mo no
Me baju ni amehuro ma bra wo ho pai. Na woni na agi a wo je oba grosa no. Na ade a wo nyame nam Dr. Amu a owo personal natural health care so aye. Eno na di bani dia say yo. Healthcare awo hu nsem de otenete se wo kase mu obuo ko prostate aye kese.
That was involved in using excavators and bulldozers and huge dump trucks. At a point in time, the small-scale mining sector, which is a legal sector of our mining, it was passed in PNDC time to allow, because we realized that the big mining companies were owned by foreign companies, and Ghanaian small-scale companies that had the capacity to mine were prevented from doing so. And so the mining code was revised to add for small-scale miners. And as I said, there's a difference between small-scale mining and artisanal mining. Artisanal mining was what existed before, using pickaxes and shovels and so on and so forth. But when the new licenses for small-scale mining started, and they could afford to bring in excavators and bulldozers and others, it meant that their ability to destroy the environment was expanded. And that is where we currently have our problem. I want to assure you that we are determined to win this fight. And your contributions, your criticisms, your pressure, putting fire under our feet does not have any problem. We don't have any problem with that. You must continue to do your advocacy, to urge us on, to encourage us to win the fight. As I said in the last media encounter, I said that I had no illusions that within 7 months I was going to win the fight against Galamsey. And I said that it wasn't going to be an event, it was going to be a process. Mistakes have been made. In the first effort we made, we go into a forest reserve. We mapped out the forest reserves that had been that had incursions of illegal miners, and we deployed the first wave of our security services. They scored a lot of successes. In a short time, they had cleared some of the major forest reserves that were called no-go areas. Unfortunately, after we cleared the illegal miners from there, the security services withdrew and handed over the forest reserve to the Forestry Commission. And so they put their forest guards there. The forest guards don't have the capacity to defend the reserves against the illegal miners. And so lessons learned were that in the next wave, with the formation of NIMOS, that we must deploy It comes with a cost, because if you send troops and station them permanently to guard the forest reserves, we must feed them, we must provide them with fuel, we must give them vehicles and all the logistics they need to be able to do that. And so that links up with Franklin's question about budget. We need a substantially bigger budget than we have currently to be able to win this war. Happily, budget hearings have started. The budget for next year is going to be presented to Parliament. And my expectation is that the Minister of Finance will give a much bigger allocation to this fight against Galamsey. We also need enough troops. Our troops are stretched. We have so many chieftaincy disputes all over the country, land disputes. And so you go to Sampa, we have troops there. You go to Gonjaland, Savannah, there are troops there. You go to Boko, there are troops there. You go to Nkwanta, our troops are there. And then our troops are also on the border to protect us from terrorism. And so they are spread thin. If we take another batch of them and go and put them in the forest, it means that we are committing most of our troops to other things other than crime prevention and keeping us safe. And so that's why NIMOS is a combination of the police and the army. So all of them contribute troops. And then we also have national security also contributing and all the other agencies. But happily, we have some additional troops coming with the winding down of some of the peacekeeping theaters. And so when they come, as many of them as possible, we'll add them to the force so that we're able to dominate all the anti-galamsey sites and be able to win the battle. As he said, we have targeted 7 major zones in the regions, and the Army have come up with a proper strategy. NIMOS has come up with a proper strategy for engaging the illegal miners and making sure that we clear them from especially the forest reserves and the water bodies. One of the important successes is the change in the whole issue of excavators. Excavators came in huge quantities, and I remember that at a point under the previous administration, they asked that permits be gotten before excavators are imported. Meanwhile, the law did not say you should get a permit after, but that was what we came to meet, that you bring the excavator, then you go to the Ministry of Transport and ask for a permit. But the law actually says that you must get a permit before you import the excavator. And so now we're enforcing that law. And so you can't bring an excavator in, you can't put it on a ship, and we're telling the shipping agencies, if you bring an excavator for which there's no permit, we shall...
Yearly anniversary promo. Yeah, no, Sasine Wotropoli, Airport View Estate. One more ton for Canada no ton, they say. Wapon what near ya, what's a show. Now, was it the attention when you say shoot for more things? They say, so when you put wo pass or quacotas and a drew a beer, yana quacoyasem, quite up to date one more. Now, near one yanabusumisi antamo installment, old church and kakaka, nebi bianya kama. No was young country say, we say what tons as a papa no diama wa, was a war, other services be provided, which is a land surveying, building construction, architectural drawing, land registration, barcode site plan. Nina no woman ye up to date estate and construction akache. Me so site no if you don't name me de be ko anopa no so na wa yakrado ne ko control fee was me suma ani mani la she be oba Shalom Sport bus stop on mo ya wo ne oba hwabo mu fa up to date estate and construction for number no na onu won hwemu na kwagya asase papa on wakache 0531 22 8238 0531 228238 and 0500 454989 another WhatsApp up to date for 0500 454982 na only one more ashe ede abomu Commander Bills microcredit say and can't man for say ahotoso microcredit abetu do ho atoso ma eneyu udwadie enu sika sema ko akonanim ye ka se bu a wetie wo pebesia na so so be yakra no okobo nipa ma ne so pebesa akoya asem ne obi te wasem a oh minia kam obi aka de mama pa o bebi ni ho no osan ka wakira asem bone ko Bills microcredit ho de wo hia your Ghana card no pe ene ade a Bills for wono mo hwehwe enye se bia utususu ye ho ansan ya bema abesia ne ade da bi de hia ne Ghana card ko ho ensi hu papa bia so hye de ni hu ya yes ama metete we pese o business no e booming tia Bills microcredit ho ene ma da yeso ahodo ebamu for 0596 920833 0596 920833 and 0302 200390 terms and conditions apply. Opposing the dream booster by Mesha. Eye one number 1 immune booster. Mr. Your number ye kwa ye be say ade bi ka auto forms say na de wo konse do. Mr. Men pese be senti bon ban to opreko. Enti na efre bibi prevention is better than cure. And cancer ya de no be bansa. Ena yi a immune system no betumi ama na gina brand no. Eno ene do so nom. Eye imboost herbal Mesha. Post in the do eba kope na nafo bi ne ayifo bi akoyifo bi so omye bi fra na so post in the do de unim na atete no eba kope no a imbus herbal Mesha hospital bemu herbal shops ahodo mo wosa ebeka enro no ebie 0246 208 496 0246 208 496 and 0540 710 113 yako Makot Surgicals one more akache na wudru one more akache a ene Makot se woton sase ede amawo na we 3 plot bi gu ba bi hyehyehye ewo Kumase atasemanso a ye ton wanya senketwa atasemanso ampa atasemanso na chese makosejika for wo mo chese ensasepa no wo ton a enya agrokra nti mesel bo moden so obekọ size bi a wo pe 100 by 100 meters 200 by 200 and 200 by 100 ni nyina no wo benya bi e ho no mo wo businessman and now we businesswoman na wo pe great location bi na wa bon sisi bi a project bi ho a ene makosejika so se obehwe na wabo wo mo ye ne wo no mo enhwe emfa emomu 0244 314310 0244314310 and 0549436442. You call Go TV for Akache. Now say every day is Go time on Go TV. Or family any favorite entertainment partner no. They say Go TV pet and I'm a TV so I there. Na ni amount for ike can you one be can ya dia and say na Go TV one no more. O sa subscribe to the Go TV no. Edia na pe European leagues awodo he say no say ya Chelsea for ball modern ya near commander
hey
Ose okay near you
don't bring yourself
any here commander yanku
go forward
any European leagues say EPA say no say ayi
hey
come on you for you and La Liga nim say
mo
Syria
no
ne keka ho nyina no Go TV ho we are look at on Chenya now you were champions na ya to Chenya mesrew ade say drama ni movies ahodo so a ubenya hwe o Go TV so enya senketo akra no dull moments with the family ebra we use Go TV or say stay connected on Go TV dial star 759 hash na tua subscription no yen spice up viewing experience no Go TV love it Kwabena
Alazi Adishama yeda ase obasi ababio na
Chihuahua.
Straight yanko tie Gabi Asare Ochre Dako on why MPP Eluzuye Emma MPP.
I heard somebody say in Ashanti meeting said we let Ashanti down because we didn't fix their roads. MPP let Ashanti down because they didn't have flyovers. But I have been in meetings where MPs from Ashanti region have said that and your flyovers they want your community roads down. And in politics, you are supposed to give people what they say they want, not what you think they want. They want. They wanted their community roads. And when you look at the number of roads that was done in Ashanti region, per capita across the country, you can't say that MPP let Ashanti region down. Yet, an MPP person was apologizing for disappointing Ashanti, for neglecting Ashanti. Now, if you want to win in 2028, and this is your attitude, that's what you have to say.
Harun, so straight time in the woman who sent solo mono who's joining a studio. I say, try senka be a babe Timia Bog Gabi and send some no. But baby Gabi Rizzi abe a topical issue. The fact that Omo to me anye Mpuntujuma said yes e wa Ashanti region because enye onene wo fa Akufuado ene ba umia na yeye na Ashanti region MPs no MPP MPs no ena adu omo nkrofo bone because omo be ka kire omo say Ashanti region de omo ani nye saa eniema no ho omo pelungulungu rules na lungulungu rules so do mo atwa bia mo papa. And I'm said that is where the bone of contention, you know. Mami Jemu Mao, you better be treated a response. Ashanti region almost so dear, but Bacho Yanko.
Commander Michia Shofo Michia Etiefo so anadwe. Minwanwa say at this
one God. There's a difference between humility, okay? I heard somebody say in Ashanti meeting, said, we let Ashantis down because we didn't fix their roads. NPP let Ashantis down because they didn't have flyovers. But I have been in meetings where MPs from Ashanti region have said that and yet flyovers they want their community goes down. And in politics, you are supposed to give people what they say they want, not what you think they want. They what? They wanted their community roads. And when you look at the number of roads that was done in Ashanti region, per capita across the country, you can't say that NPP left Ashanti region down. Yet, an NPP person was apologizing for disappointing Ashanti, for neglecting Ashanti. Now, if you want to win in 2028, and this is your attitude, that's what you have to say. One God. There's a difference between humility, okay, and knocking yourself down. You can show humility, and let me put no say, hey, dear, you expected more from us, and we are sorry that we couldn't deliver all that you asked.
na every political party via ewo omo agenda for every region as far as Ghana is concerned. Now you would campaign based on your promises Udiama, the citizens of this nation. But let this be clear to Gabi Ochirodako. Say it is important that say any region development, it is not for only the citizens who lives within Sa enclave a benefit. But when you look at the economic benefit, to say a coin edibema ebre NPP, ebre Oman Ghana, ebre the citizens of this country, a idea the government of the day will look and do not what near an MP and near DC and near Ohinibi Beka about the development of any region. It is important for us to look at what at all did NPP do when they were in power. We need to look at it. Okay, the Sofola interchange. Abra, His Excellency John Evans Atamils, Eshasie. And even when NPP came to power, they left it.
Yeah.
It is only Mahama who decided to continue the good works of NPP, John Evans Atamils. The entire 8 years of NPP, what did they do? We share the Sofo line up to Asukwa. The Tanoso Road, no? It started under NDC. And we share the area of Swami. It is only.
It started under NDC.
It started under NDC. Yes, it started under NDC. So now you stretch from Sofo line up to Tanoso.
Neka Kufo project no.
Neka, but Atamils started continue from that place up to Asoyeboa. Next time no, the roads were not tarred, but everything that had to do with the construction works Mahama. And at the time, no Kurana about the development of that Quino. Now Kosunyania, now Ufa Abrepo Junction, Ekosi Echirihono. Next time, Nanami Ukumasi. I know what I'm talking about. But yet the politics. But the good people of Ashanti,
say MPP kono na omoye no dual.
Omoye no dual, yes, yes. Omo ye. but but some portion is still left. We share the KJTR market. But under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, even his own region, na a northern region together with Savannah, okay, his father's 10 as a friend saying, council member, council of state member at the time, champion here in Tamale old market. It has all up to date. Mahama left it. But all this has to do with what will bring revenue and what will bring development. At the time, now of the airport, Tamale Airport, the expansion now, or the call Tamale. No. At the time, he never looked at what the chiefs and the people of Tamale wanted. He looked at it generally. Say, if I bring airport to Tamale, it's going to benefit Accra, the people of Accra, the people of Kumasi, and the people of Tamale. So, as soon as say, an MP will tell you to leave the project, or no, be benefit in his constituency to make him to get another elections. Abroad, i.e., the entire country is suffering simply because of someone's interest. So, if you look at this Swami runabout, Eko Swami, Yediko Bremai, Ediko Tamale. Okay, I am so disappointed at the time when NDC MPP almost say Ashanti for the stronghold of NDC MPP Ashanti region Abra omuntimi wie da sakweno. So if you have failed the good people of Ashanti, you don't come to say the people, the MPs in Ashanti region said they didn't need the major rules, but the inner rules that they wanted. Even with the lungu rules are omokano. Go to Sawaba, go to Mutaka constituency, Asawasi, and you see what Mutaka and the DCA then did. So which a year then it means the lungu krano any development more than even the major roads in Ashanti region. In my area, for example,
where
Bokrom Estate.
Yeah, Bokrom Estate.
Bokrom Estate. Go to Bokrom Estate and see. Say, you catch us say MP wo honum kura wunjindi.
But
go to
but a free airport runabout.
The dual lane no shall say under Mahama.
Oh, okay.
The New Kenyasi road started under Mahama. The airport road, the call estate, A-line, F-line, the call Ahiani, Inano, it shall say under Mahama.
I see.
Yes, I live there. What I say? Who call Akati Farms? Oh, Honuna, so we know what we are talking about. Wofa a friend saying Dotty, Eddie Cosipestro, Eddie Far, Mamponti, the co up behind Technina, Mahamana. So, what at all have they done? So, if they are even talking about the inner road development, I know said that Ashanti region is huge, but okay. Papa PA, Omuya demonstration, Nana Akufo-Addo did this, Ohinana tem, would you call your Krasi BC now? Would you call Sir John Chrome Honum baby? At a time when they needed this particular road most, the chief then demonstrated before Nana Akufo-Addo. He told them, say, yeah, but if indeed, say, Muhieno and then no Ochina, then of course, but as we speak now, I am telling you, say, the government of the day has not prioritized Sakweno. That is Nana Akufo-Addo for you. So I am surprised that the good people of Ashanti will then think, say, the MPs made them deprived. No, it is the government of the day. Our priorities was not to develop Ashanti region. Okay, so if you look at what Mahama has done, the international airport, the Kumasi airport expansion, when I shall say it is under Mahama. If you look at the KJTF phase 2, Obebisa, how come KJTF phase 2 up to date? For 8 years, MPP didn't do it. Uba Asawasi Market, only Asawasi Market, the Central Box Honum. Who did it? Under Mutaka, and still under NDC. Who call this village Crowflow Market? Under which? It's under Mahama. And look at it, it was left to rot. Mahama made sure they did it, and he came back, and is going to continue. So what projects have they done? The question is, if indeed you made your own boy Asante Boashi to the road minister, what at all did he do for Ashanti region? What at all? Your own brother or cousin Amakwata, what did he do for Ashanti region?
Of Swami offensive road,
yes,
condemn.
Poto
Kumasi Obuasi road, condemn.
Yes.
Bosomtwe road,
condemn. That's Jachi road, Hono.
Jachi.
Yes, anymore.
Never say so far no Mampon, Kumasi Mampon road no. Yanokra no udru baby to say Ntonso. Yes, Ediko. Condemn.
Say anymore. So what at all? So Edukura no lungu coin na omuka about. Where are the lungu coin? So what people should need to understand is that the NDC would always give development to every region when the need arises. But
since Utie Gabi, what Gabi is trying to communicate, and he said, Santifonana Abom Wabro, Omonon Kahom.
And Anamidi can say the development of this country does not lie on either the MP or the chiefs.
So you look at what the people want, not
what did the people say they want?
And
the people of Kumasi say omu KJTF development. Tell me in the sub-region.
But maybe NDC DNA wrong. So be more KJTF market, more Crowflow market. Yes,
it is wrong. Any government who thinks about the economic activities and the well-being of the people will give you a dia ebemao sika a coin a market. That is where the revenue is driven from. So I don't understand the lungu kwaya una omuka. Where is the lungu number one? And what would the lungu kwano Madagana? No. So we're looking at the major roles that connect cities, that connect regions. To say Ashanti region leading to a northern region through Buno. That road, Pocho, Edahonum. The road that lead to Mampong. Leading to another Buno region. Ejura, Pocho.
Nkranza,
dead. The road that will lead from Ahian Kwanta through Obuasi to central region. Mara.
Condemn.
From Obuasi to Dunkwa Ofen, Ediko
free Konongoba Accra, don't go there.
You understand? And then from Obuasi through Asinfosu to central region, that road Ufa Okra will be woeful. So what at all did NPP do for Ashanti region? And that is why when they say Ashanti people didn't come out to vote, they have a good reason. Mahama has come, and when he came, he didn't only go to start, he continued, and he is initiating new ones. So I am following social media, and they will tell you the mayor and then the regional minister is making NPP unpopular. It is true. Once you know the need and the sentiment of the people, that is where your focus should be. And they have focused to the extent that everybody, where they want to migrate from the Swami runabout to Crowflow, everybody is getting a place, a store to come and get their daily income and what have you, so that they will be able to live better. You haven't done that. The city connection, you failed. The lungu you can't even mention. I say Asawasi, the lungu kwaya uhu asawasi nyinaa ye mutaka na yeye under mutaka. So which one? We share the area of but
I'm say baku when the MPP na ye is it Adiemra I'm say Adiemra or Adiebeba also who use Ahojo road yeah they call Ampeyo.
Oh, I say enu na meka no. Omu ye dey.
Yeah. Oh, but so ko omu akọ job na ye.
Oh, fiti Ahuju runabout. Meba fiti Ahuju runabout.
To Atinga Junction. Problem or.
No, when ye.
And this na ye.
That's it.
No, but
so which inner rules?
And make sure say from Atinga Junction go so my new road from Atinga Junction eko Ampeyo Adiemra.
No, but the point is Ushe Jachi number 1 up to Jachi number 2. That is the end. What I say, the Bekwai runabout, Ediko, it ends at Jachi number 1, and Traho. So what at all are they talking about? And then I don't know the inner rules, so they should come out and tell us Niana Omu Kafa about the inner rules, neglecting the central district rules. That's what we want.
Mame, MPP for statement, quick.
So for me, what Gabi is saying, and can I say on Kano it is not now. Opposition struggling to make relevance out of nothing. Because what he's saying today is indicting the MPs, and the MPs must respond. And once they respond, yes, and once they respond, he'll be exposed.
And they have.
And he'll be exposed.
I don't know whether what the Gabi video no. Only Gabi video no, so you don't even know what they said.
Yeah, anyway, all right. So is making.
So quick one. NPP Parliamentary Caucus. Press release false and inaccurate allegations leveled against Ashanti MPs by Mr. Gabi Ochredakon, and permit me to just take like maybe 2 paragraphs. The attention of the Ashanti Regional MPP Parliamentary Caucus has been drawn to recent remarks attributed to Mr. Gabi Ochredakon, suggesting that members of Parliament from the Ashanti region opted for community roads instead of flyovers, and that this alleged decision accounts for the current state of infrastructure in the region. We wish to state emphatically that these assertions are false, inaccurate, and misleading. It is unfortunate and disappointing that such remarks will be made in a manner that seeks to malign and unfairly portray Ashanti MPs. We wish to place on record that no such meeting ever took place between Ashanti MPs and any person in authority where such a choice or preference was made. That said, we also acknowledge and appreciate the significant developmental efforts made by successive MPP governments in the Ashanti region. Indeed, the improvement of several community road networks, the redevelopment of major markets such as KJTR, the construction of schools and hospitals, and the support for industries under flagship initiatives like One District, One Factory are all commendable interventions that have positively impacted on our people. Okay, so however, we must state with utmost candor that these efforts, while appreciated, remain insufficient when measured against the immense loyalty, support, and contribution of the Ashanti region to the electoral success of the MPP. The people of Ashanti have stood unwavering with the party, and it is only fair that their loyalty is rewarded with projects that reflect their central role in Ghana's political and economic development. Representatives of the Ashanti people will reaffirm our commitment to continue advocating for a transformative and high-impact projects in the region. Ashanti deserves not only community roads, but also modern interchanges, flyovers, expressways, and strategic infrastructure capable of driving economic activity, facilitating trade, and easing mobility for our citizens.
The airport road to Manshia Palace, NDC in a year. The airport road from airport straight to Manshia Palace.
Which side? Don't say to Bakufa Roof Room.
Then and yet the from no. One say from airport straight all the come and share about. Straight and this in a year. What I say? So which one? Even to the King's Palace and this in a year. To the inner rules around the King's Palace and this in a year.
But I almost say Gabi Bua 1 2
yeah, almost them.
Two almost say infrastructure the Oma be papa but Oma mention
they should mention send me body
and that roads no so Oma be papa Oma ya no Oma mention
share
yes
Sir John who ya na eko share Sir John who ya na eko Sir John who ya na eko
okay say ono
na eko ono okay
why ono
Antoa kwan won say Antoafo ehia Akufo-Addo
yes
odidi o matam
yes
say enya mi na say monko bi say mo regional minister Antoa what you say and the show mo bufu pa
another road I know MPP
what you say so which one
also ura anita hotel chiro ha
edi ko hin
dey be see asromaso road no
and no pay.
Well, for that one, I know.
Yeah, for honum call, minim da minim da omoye because ye mimi fa honum Matthias, mimi fa honum ekopie wono. Every honum wono. Ah, okay.
Why wono?
Sir John, da yes Sir John sa da no mujuru sa kwan no.
And I make us still omo wie Ansah no omo free. Yeah. Oh. Is me I want to menam no me say mamponfo ye koye kroma okay bi aje so bibi o Kumasi inside Kumasi then you decide but yeah bi aye ko fie street no you fa anita hotel achiro na ya fa dwaben ya fa bosomtwe
e fa ho achiro ho no
bonwire also bonwire say na ho kwa ni nyina anyo bonwire ni afa bonwire ni afa abade ababa besi asomaso road no ni atesi ekwanum na chese street wo come Asante Mampon no so that road na there were issues but they did it before
they did but nyina also no the development after say Asante region
of course
looking at the votes omunya ewo honum no I don't think say it is fair for people to even come and be talking about inner rules. The same thing. Okaya na omodi voter region. Extra NDC po. Say omunye the voters omunye bibia wo. So it's the same thing. So you cannot come and then be thinking say what you have done equates the voter percentage na ounya. All right? And if you consider the voter turnout this time, and I am very happy that this is what is telling NPP to understand. So you cannot keep us in darkness and thinking that we are just slaves at any time when they say come out, you come out. Development is what the people see. That's one. Two, if you look at the rules, forget about the inner rules. The inner rules would only expose the government who doesn't want to work. In a sense that, yes, of course, if you look at the development pattern of every government, nobody will tell you that they don't focus more on the interconnecting cities, regions than even the inner rules. Look at the inner rules of your friend saying Cantonment, Laboni, and the likes. Do you know why? Because they pay ground rents. You understand? And so those ground rents demand that
the rules were done by the NDC JJ Rawlings regime through Limex.
Yes.
Construction.
Yes. So we name Limex.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Chiruhaya, Kenya Road. Yes. Through Limex. And that is when, and up to date, it is only Mahama. That time I was always in Kumasi. No, I have a house in
so Kumasi they were yard.
You understand? So I know. And I know the inner rules that will lead you to through Antoa, from there to behind Anita Hotel. If you want to just dodge traffic, and even so, from Tech, there'll be Tech, Ankasa, to Amunaga Junction. Pass there.
Oh, yeah.
Go there today and see. From there up to Kejetia. Go there and see. After Mahama, nothing has been done to stretch. So what are they talking about? And Ufa Honum, from there going to Stadium Road, Bobo. From Stadium Road going to Ahunjo Roundabout, Bobo, Ningina is under NDC, and we have seen it. And I'm telling you what I have known. Ufa Honum, Ediko, Manyanka, Bobo.
Oh, I inside.
So I don't get it.
I inside,
Ningina Bobo. And from there going to Jachi, all those areas I know. So till today, what have they done that you are coming out to talk about? The MPs said they didn't want development on the city, but rather in the corners. Omutimidi, V8 ni Golf 1, Golf 2, Golf 3. Etimi fam corners.
Mawena, Mausi, sorry. Oh, sorry, Mawena. I'm sorry. May your soul rest in peace.
That's fine.
No, I have a friend. I lost a friend called Mawena, and a flashy margin. Sorry, Mausi, Akwaba. So I don't know whether also with your identity is I think.
But as I'm not can me, my point is.
Yeah.
The USA is almost on my AB. Yeah, the facts and figures in the age. And if my AB at least mention them. Let's watch what you have done. Now, you find to Janagana phone you know who say A, B, C, D, and here can see I. Do you get my point?
Yes, I do.
It's if you're not able to list them, what are you saying?
Well, maybe be a Kumasi for no him dada.
Oh, there be you. I want him dada saying, "Ka, me it's Kumasi me cry." This is national discourse. Inti enye Kumasi for him inti yen kama obi anti. Ka, patu Jano obi en say A, B, C, way ni aye. What me fan to Jadia? I'm sorry, I don't know where the conversation is going.
Well, or no Gabi basis ne say one MPP for no be echo pa Kumasi for show prior to the 2024 elections.
So wait me body.
Yes. Oh, yande yina yinim.
Okay.
Was a ya onu say enikwa sen kebasa because projects no omudi hun komo say Emma Ashanti region for Antoama Omotoma NDC no. Those projects na MPs na ne wo fabeshi ai. Ena omo ka chense Kumasi for they don't need those things. All that they need lungu rules.
Lungu pa. Na lungu ne kopie hi.
And I Haruna Ebusa answer.
Lungu ne kopie hi. Wo ye inner roads na where does it lead to?
Lead to.
It will be inner roads na say na main road na no carry the bulk of economic activity ni eno mo be yen futu kwan na no it will na eco town so now they are best futu kwan no so on the I don't know.
There be say if you have you sarga for the fast food.
Ayo make
because what was a very serious question, very striking one. I ain't for the lungu copy.
Copy. It's a lungu near the basic will be a fee. Near lungu that was having a fee. Near lungu that basic amount of fee. They see.
So we
is road no.
Where does it lead to?
What does it lead to?
Okay, to a catcher say, Omuma asphalt to be a fee any simple.
Okay.
Said your person,
but bad. It's and all can. What people development is what people are actually seeing, right? Inti, Kriafok of fat and toast. Free say it's a chiman when cheap. No more de bar, no more de bank, no more de befa bad rules, no more de baby doing crying. Na lungu ne de ba wu fear no mo me twaswa. I don't know.
Because me
how does that benefit the rest of the Ghanaians?
Yes.
How does that benefit the rest of the
they came in to please Asantis.
They meet me in disputes. But my point is, no, that's what I'm trying to practicalize it. Lungu. Eko fee, eko mi fee, that kind of thing. But main road na you fast so by free north. Eba, tomatoes a free here, eba, Jane free here, eba. Na say no quite na truck driver no babe do na the car say you can't say next time obeba. I know
ma
charge. So how does
say
that
now
affect the ordinary Ghanaian? Yeah, until ho na yeah lungu kwai no so. How does that benefit us?
Now yeah we no. Yeah demonstration e wo Amasaman in Sawam Road. Obi a demonstration say any fi kwan
No.
So it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
You don't understand. At the end of the day, what is the benefits to the rest of the people?
Yes.
It's it's not me say ayo.
I don't know so obi anye demonstration if anyway, because obi a conversation is say highway no e dey kofie ne onya etene so rapokria say Amasaman
yes here to me a contribution na ya to gravels kakra di twa kwan no so be kwan ni. But main road na now so and say ba be do your junction soon. What happens to it? That is the conversation.
But I think Mausi, maybe MPP has lost reality.
Yes.
On the ground.
Yes, they have. I believe so. I believe so. And for me, I would say that look, snap back and do a proper assessment. Snap back and do a proper assessment of what has gone wrong. Listen to the people, listen to what Ghanaians are actually saying, and ebia another 20 elections Ghana for be consider.
But now, would you say MPP, are they ready to sit down and search their own?
From where I sit, I don't think so. But I don't know what goes on with them.
Obi, I send me a message. No, but I say, in the end, MPP will do baby Madrid. I can't even answer. Because now between Gabi and the MPs, you don't know who is telling us the truth. Yeah. Why? Because Gabi is feel say omugu or no for anymore. Say when to me and you be our Central region.
It is what the people see. At the end of the day, it is what the people see. In about feelings. Say for feel say and I me feel say it's about what the people see. Is it tangible? Are they seeing results? Did they see results? Is that and the elections don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Elections, no, we saw the overwhelming majority that Ghanaians gave to the NDC. That alone speaks for itself.
I'm out for a year a friend and say Kumasi Ashanti region projects one Juma say next week never barbonting. So maybe next week because so far as I know I'm aware say crow from market so mo year we say and vice president call omo year we the market is means 60 17
mama we smoke as Ukrainian baby engine. On page I no more page my be brave.
Go from market to don't
and there was a video that was going around on social media. I think it was a joke or something. But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are other projects so more documenting now the bar then we can have a proper
conversation
proper conversation on this matter. We're running up with a year galamsey issues and matters arising. Wontumi was arrested. Was invited rather. Then the TN say okay, money bail. Unfortunately, there are other issues and then video be I quite remember a lady spoke about Nimri forest and how to me damage forest
we actually compiled a video I could share with you. We actually compiled a video somewhere in April. Yedituja shared with Ghanaians. I think
then you should have sent it to the producer.
The last time, let me share with him. The last time we even on Friday, share CSOs no Krampuno. We also shared a portion of that video in addition to everything else that we've done. Let me share with him.
Yeah, share with him for me. Omar Mohammed on Facebook says they really know what it is as a result of the abysmal performance for the past 8 years, but because of arrogance and disrespect to the people, Omon cannot credit that. Dramani Kasiru says, Bobie, if the mind is weak, the body suffer power or more bread. Mabi Adamba says JJ, that is in reference to the former president John Rawlings, constructed. Let me check what. Constructed the roads from Kumasi to Asante Mampong, then to Ejura and to Yeji. Yes, so that time I'm the interbeting and James Brown says, Bobie, I regret voting for Mahama government. His government is now catch and bail government. Okay, James, that is your opinion. Joe Eskin, good evening. Citizen Show crew live inside Lagos, Nigeria. I hope MPP is coming back soon in 2099. KB, keep it up. My man Michael, what is this going on? I was asking why there were 9 cabinets ministers from the Ashanti region, yet they couldn't do the rules. Ken Future Network says, come on, I was asking why. Okay, so I think I've touched on that one. Why are you concerned about how the MPP should behave and strategies and comeback? Why do you want them to come back to power? Never again, MPP. Kofi Francis, watching you live from Nigeria. Saniko says, Bobie to me is a criminal. Simple. In Theophilus is watching you live from Inchi, Western North. Teacher Theo. Okay, Dramani says JDM will break the 8 Allah. Then we have other testers here. Nana Kwame Isaac says good afternoon, Wafa. Okay, thank you. Yamra back to the studio. But Odena Sherry. My miss Mama Kwa Yungra Galamse issues mu. Mousy, so won't we was arrested, was invited to the MC arrest no Timpa. Okoyeno after Bibia with CID office, or money bill. So definitely a binary first step passe in dealing with kingpins when it comes to Galamsey.
So Michia Minia Harina Michel for Bia near Omomuti na ni Omomoshye. Beside in Chakesiama, ye papa John Dramani Mahama. Ni Juma, me Bonabaso, Juma Dia Oye, ni Onabama Kofibwa. Action man. Bien is on his open age, Mawana.
Oh, but you yeah.
Very hardworking man, and he's one of the people that is he's and yes, I met him in America, but he is very committed to the fight against illegal mining. And I think one of the things that we said right at the beginning of the year, was we are not going to shield anybody. And yenim say Galamsey, President can last call say yenim say Galamsey. Of course, boys go for more Jumaniade, but Bebrena Kofotaomachi. And these are the financiers, these are the campaigns who are financing, these people. A lot of the people that we see, young guys, Bebrena to me export excavator and macrum. Inti Obi share tree. So in dealing with the issue, you need to get to the root cause of the matter. And in looking at the financing of this, you need to look at who sits behind and who is financing this. I think somewhere in April, there was a press briefing that we did, led by Honorable Amakofibua, that we did. I did Ghana for it was Easter Monday, Mikaipa, because this year Mendi Easter because of our same wins.
Oh, okay.
Easter Friday, Easter Saturday, Easter Sunday, Nania Yehuejuma, and we had taken footages from the Tanonimri forest. And if you see the level of devastation in that area, Asifam. And tell me, I say, that particular video, no who's that video, he doesn't know what to tell you. Asasi Dahwa.
But I am show.
Oh yes.
More programs I am show also.
Yeah, I mean it's we had pushed it out, so it's all over social media.
No, do you have and like maybe a TV program on whether
actually one of the things that we had discussed it's what you're talking about, to have dedicated programs where we are actually giving updates every time on TV. No, but you see, for the most part we've done like to say Meti Haya making a lot of engagement on radio. We are constantly on how do you call it, on our social media pages as well. We put that out as well.
We agree with those engagements.
Yes.
But say Mubenyamo dedicated platform.
Yes.
That this platform, because trust me, even with young media for no extra microphone, you know, and yet Ninyani and Saka.
Yes.
When my two just like anyway, I just asked.
No, it's a good point, and it's good feedback that we take well. And so, like I was saying, we had put all of that together and then showed to the people of Ghana, and for them to see the level of devastation that had been done to that particular forest reserve. And so, one of the things that we had done was also present that, all that information to the Attorney General for them to work on it and then pick him up for investigations. I think along the line, I say Papa Biasa, but we've been following up on it, and we spoke to the AG, and he had said, look, he didn't want to put together a case that had loopholes, and he needed to be sure that it was as tight as could be, so that and on Friday he mentioned that he had called for his arrest this week, and that is what we've seen. So,
but want to
we would. As we go along, we would name them. I said Yakasi will name and shame. As we go along, the other names will pop up, and it is devoid of political colorization. Doesn't matter so we NPP ni so we NDC ni. Once you are destroying our environment, you are an enemy of the state, because enya wo sika kakra obenyanti na yin na see you. And once why you wondering say they can want to know, because look, Bobie. Yeah, but we said this issue of Galamsey is not something that started in it. But we know over the last few years, over the last 8 years, it had gotten so bad that na asa ginseng, and there's no way that we could approach it with one solution, with a blanket solution. So we needed to look at it from all fronts, and that is why. If you look at the strategy that we developed, it's a very comprehensive one. The 5-pillar strategy that we developed, very comprehensive. The first one, we said we needed stakeholder engagement, stakeholder collaboration. Galamsey asem, it affects everybody. Want to me say, obi to obo ase na Galamsey intimating kan and family home. Obi today and parts of Accra, obi you tap Accra, so if you move back here. We have seen water treatment plants shutting down in some areas. And so you can't say so stakeholder collaboration, stakeholder engagement was very key. We also needed to look at the regulations around mining itself as an industry. You can't say mining more behind mining. President Mahama Kraka, can't say more behind mining. We understand that mining is a viable commercial activity, but you require a fast way to mining. You require a fast way to mining and say you and say Ansah. So, what are the regulations around that economic activity, and where are the loopholes? What do we need to do to strengthen that regulation and to tighten it? So that was another one. Then we also needed to look at law enforcement, because where there are laws, the laws need to be enforced. Say emrane wo ho na ye be enforce emrane kwan be na be fa so be enforce emrane ebe dim na ebe pay. So that was the third one. And then of course we are saying Galamsey are saying say once we have done all of that, you can't say that you would not attend to the damage. So we needed to look at the damage. Ansah na say what do we do about it? Ansah na say what do we do about it? So the fourth pillar was to look at reclamation of the degraded lands, also look at the pollution of the water, and also make sure that we are restoring them. Then while we do all of that, I talked about getting to the root cause. What is the root cause of this? People want to engage in this economic activity. But the pathway to getting them, to me afford it, and on names our pathway no into say ye bet stretch or provide alternatives for them into then the alternative livelihood comes in. So if you look at the strategy, it's a comprehensive approach that encompasses everything that allows us to be able to, once we are able to implement the strategy on all fronts effectively, efficiently, you bet me to Galamsey as, and that's the path that we are on. So I think say if you share from beginning of the year till now progress I am making, if we have the same level of dedication the last 8 years, we will not be sitting here having this conversation.
No, but Amanfo believes that the political influence, that is where with chief traditional leaders, the security agencies need to.
Yes, I agree. It is not true. We agree on that, but you see,
but Sisiano, many sure say even more traditional leader bakukra or molest so say we be prosecuted.
Bobie make it kaba, and I make us say we are very clear in our minds to say stakeholder engagement is key, but so make us, and if you remember, I said at the beginning, we said we're not going to shield anybody. So once we have done all the stakeholder engagements, we have spoken to the chiefs, we are getting their involvement, we are reviewing policy and all of that. Now why you say still be here? And we are clear on that. We're very clear on that.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Alaji, so Galam say, baby, and open na me no be dim komo na me ka che nipa ne say. Me an kasa baby amedru no. Ya bre. My bre. Because on my way there are politicians in sa. Yes, ye wo ahemfo. Adehye. Nti yemfa buoma omo. Yemfa buoma tugba fede, yemfa buoma gamanche, yemfa buoma otumfo, yemfa buoma na yiri, yemfa buoma wanwan, yemfa buoma mawanwan. But omo na eye omo. Yemfa buoma Akufo-Addo, yemfa buoma John Mahama, yemfa buoma Akufo, yemfa buoma politicians, NDC, MPP, omo na eye. Asoja fa yesumo omo akowura mu no. Army commander no omo na eye. Yohunu ayesuma no police for no. Yohunu omo na eye. Okote naimos for na eye. Okote temos for na eye. So where do we go from here? Because adene now it's clear say any ordinary guys be on the number baby. So
Commander, one of the beautiful thing every day we do about corruption ni Galamsey. I console myself with one thing: in any democracy, every 4 years na yakotuaba. Now every one of us know that Galamsey was one factor ema NPP a year unpopular. In the year 2015 the be Mekai Asamina at the time Inus of Senena no year Lands and Natural Resource Minister. That's our time went to me ni company be your friend no household mining na no more ye juma. And I asked myself at the time,
household no any dia na se no na ye juma.
Not only Chinese phone and yes, I've been there on occasions several.
Oh, okay.
So I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Now we share at the time now you forest reserve in this country and I know any be.
Yo.
Na oti say company bia or ye Galamsey and a company bia or ye illegal money no more call any of the forest reserves there be. Now at the time now your water bodies and any water bodies.
Your water bodies.
Nana oti say your water bodies your mo friend no turbidity levels is here na say sana minu about ubi pipes is here ube hu first milk na waba no first ube hu Milo second na milk aba Ansah na kokuti what I say. So you choose which one to drink. Not those days, no. I'm talking of 10 years back under NDC. So in the process, NDC and NPP made huge capital out of Galamsey. Yawura Nana Akufo-Addo ekwetena baby, around Abuasi, esho mo bose ono ba se amanfo enenam eka se me ba me stop Galamsey enya me make sure say mo betu Galamsey mo betu ampara na eka se obua. But the wind of change na ebo e will be bia, so people took that scam serious. But at the time, Mansell Mining veered off his mandate as a licensed miner. You know, say na fancha no. Say mukaya. No license to mine, but veer off kakra within his limits, you know. You know, saying making sure say they arrested a lot of the Chinese, deported a lot of the Chinese illegal miners, to the extent of burning Hansel mining excavators. Why didn't he go to court at the time?
No, he did.
He didn't. He went to courts. NDC MPP bar. And then he won judgment, and then they pay him that money. Okay, so it emboldened a lot of people. We didn't go far. Aisha won. Eddie sa kofa NDC deportee yenu nyina san ba Ghana. Omuye Galamsey broad daylight to the extent of killing Ghanaians. Omuko protesti yehuni nyina. To the extent that Ansah was arrested. But at the time, because MPP needed money in China, they needed to deport or make this woman, take this woman back without prosecution. But as we speak, I am told, say Ansah, Ghana, she's back in Ghana.
Really?
She's in Ghana.
How?
That's the question. So if you look at,
yeah, sure.
I'm telling you for a fact. Since Nana Akufo-Addo Omukwa, so Koya no Sabaya. It didn't Koya no Baya. She's been here.
Since when?
I'm telling you that for the past 4-5 years, Ansah is in Ghana. And now China more than 1 year cry, no Sabaya. But all the same, the question we are asking, is it the case that the politicians are deeply involved in Galamsey operations? And now it is just as we see that businessmen are fronting those Omotutu Galamsey. The point is, we are all looking at how to find a lasting solution. But trust me, that lasting solution will never see daylight.
But at least won't to me I'm a fair idea that politicians are involved. At least we know.
That's what I'm saying. To the extent that the natural, science and environment minister, my reports, more than 35-page reports, elaborating more on involving in Galamsey. The best at the time they could do was to sack him. No, to sack him from his position.
That's Professor.
Yes, that's the best they could do. To say, look, you want to spoil the name of the government. So, look, you're very reshuffle. He was the only person. Who said Nana Akufo-Addo did reshuffle or sack. That's for the past 8 years. Because he came out to expose Omoano Muye Galamsey. But the point is it the fact that the politician has the political will to stop Galamsey? Yes. Why is it difficult for the politician as we speak to stopping Galamsey and near Omuye on our water bodies and the reserves? Yes, the difference between NDC and MPP today is the fact that Nana Akufo-Addo signing LI, allowing people to go and mine because the water bodies no crana or more we still more time, no pen and tentem. So the reserves no, baby a umbenye akunta mine betime nye gold no be brainty or sign and look at the people, the number of people are or sign license for them to go to the reserves no akunta mine and me or
somebody just sent in a test. I say Accra100 is the Ansah maximum prison.
Oh boy, Accra100 is never jailed. Accra100 is in Ghana doing business. I'm telling you, Accra100 who Ghanaians we couldn't jail Accra100. Is it under NDC that they jailed her or is under MPP? That's it. So, but the point I'm making here is that the people who were allowed to mine in these reserves are politicians, and we knew them. We know them. Abu Jinapo, the then minister, came out and said, "Baby, ana akunta mining na omuye jumano was illegal." What did they do at the time? Nothing. Baby, nipa hudwa omuko ekoye galamsey areas where people saw politicians mining. Impunity, the highest level. Hey, politicians, what did we do? We seized more than 500 excavators at a time. Nobody saw where it ended. So the point is this, as simple as ABCD. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has instructed the minister in charge of lands to repeal that LI. Yedebeko Parliament. And Yebia, we have been able to recover 9 out of the many forest reserves. And we have recovered 9 out of that.
You bet me show Mubet Miaka reserves crow at the Ghana.
Oh yes. We have that list. I can mention that.
And I don't know how I
well, you have everything.
No, the list, you see, what list no?
They always ask.
What list no? No, because the ones now say video na say A2.
Network not a call, but
I have a problem, a network problem.
Okay,
so young boy videos number a damaged forest now.
Out of the 288, 44 of them galamsey fuel. But when we came, one of the briefings that we got, 44, the level of impacts of galamsey activities, they vary. Ebi ono man ya color coding in green. Like a few, 1 or 2 people will be ebi ono man yellow, but there were 9 of them that na red. And no. Samubekaya in 2022, there was a directive to withdraw military from all forest reserves. No explanation given, nothing. Military withdraw. And now we had all these militia, these rebel groups coming at galamsey for protection in those areas. In the forest guards now, omo forest ni mweko take omo data ne omo no to me reho. Police for crime to me rem. So when we came, those 9 forest reserves now about I said, look, let's start from those ones and reclaim those ones because
that's where the impact is huge.
Where the impact is huge. Those ones we are able to manage them, but we needed to focus on the 9. In the last I think in about 7 months or so, we're able to reclaim all the 9.
Okay.
And these forest reserves were the ones that like Mekano, those guys, the kind of weapons that they had just a military.
Yes. Even military, and that is where
even the military,
at the time,
they had to be tactical.
I remember.
So we're able to reclaim all of them. There was Jimira South. There was the offense shelter belt. I'm trying to say it off my head, but
no, if you have the list, bet me the atua say. And Kadima may produce and the tour. So such a different man for evidence based.
Evidence
because
based.
Questioner. Obia Busasa
say they are the 2 jada.
Mose 9.
Yes. The 2 jada because now say beginning of the year now almost every month be an update. Yari claim me way. It's Yari claim me bia.
But the most later no hear who statement be say o ma say ko.
Yes,
those
of course. And American. So I have Jimira extension, the Afawo Hills, Tano area, Offense Shelter Belt, Ariaso East, Ariaso South, Subri. Asenayo and Desiree. I remember Asenayo and Desiree were the last two that were able to.
But Subri, I think Subri recently, na Erastus air complaining.
It was area and then area for but I know na your call na your mo. I think last 2 weeks ago, Friday, and then Monday we brought them to Accra. There were 9 guys that we had friend saying arrested. After your clear, they tried going back in there.
I see.
Yes. They tried going back in there, and NIMOS was very quick. And you see, the beautiful thing with NIMOS is, security agencies in the into military kakrawum, police kakrawum, NIB kakrawum, national security kakrawum, and all bat together as one platoon. It's very highly intelligence led. And when they are going, obia nim nejuma, because police nim so kwa no kwa effective arrest, obe follow through with prosecution. Where it is combative, soldier phoning him say where and a lot of the time you go into those areas and there's a high incidence of drugs into narcotics for one so that's their job. Then they also follow up with those things. So we brought all of those security agencies together to be able to do this. If you look at countries like Peru that have done very well with things like illegal mining, it's a similar approach that they used and it helped them. For us, what we are doing is not out of the ordinary, but I talked about law enforcement. It's about how we are enforcing the law and also the political will. The difference between the MPP, what the MPP did, and what the NDC is doing today is basically the political will. One of the things that we said, and he mentioned the LI, one of the things that we said was, I think before we had come in, we talked about the revocation of the LI. When we came in,
that is the 2462.
2462. When we came in, I think some concerns were raised to say, the LI, the problem with the LI is the power of the president to grant mining into forest reserves. So we said, okay, then let's take, if that is what the issue is, then let's take that out. So we did. I amended it to LI 2501. Then Ghanaians said, no, you said we are going to revoke the LI in totality. So revoke it. I mean, we sat down, we are listening government. We sat down and look, this is what the people of Ghana are saying. Before that LI, the EPA was able to. There were guidelines that were in place.
But I think it's still in Parliament.
Yes, it's not been laid yet.
Yes, it's still in Parliament.
That allowed the EPA to be able to do their work. So if those guidelines exist and the EPA is still able to do their work, then why not? So Honorable wrote to, for instance, Attorney General, and he did not raise any objection. So once Parliament resumes, it's going to be laid before the table.
But I think there's a new proposed LI, right? We
haven't proposed an LI yet. The new one is amendment, the 2501, because once they took it out, it was changed to the 2501. But all of it is going to be laid before Parliament to revoke it entirely. And then if there's a need to institute a new one, then there would be. But as we speak, that LI is going to be revoked entirely. And the other beautiful thing is we haven't granted anybody mining license to mine in the forest reserve.
Since
yes,
I see.
We haven't.
No. There's no license. So if you look at,
Mami, any videos we watch here. So the videos now the of our reserves now, and I say what kind of videos?
Yes. So you see the extent of the damage of the reserve.
Okay, all right. So
say a level of professionalism
we should also
and
move promptly.
Leadership in an area where we have so much devastations. Or see, those areas are earmarked as security zone.
Yes.
Now, you even a punch you walk around with my fire. It says what I said. Yes.
Okay.
So there's a security zone. It's just like good.
Whatever happens to you there, we cannot account for.
About state of emergency in the past. Anka abainda da under Nana Akufo-Addo and making sure say this particular areas of concern no anka or the state of emergency in the form of what no go area kura and can
but you say they couldn't have done that because it was in 2018 that Ebimotsna Honor Forestry Commission head says kwakwaye reclamation and they used the guise of reclamation to go and mine in the forest reserve, and that's where this whole thing started from. So if you look at the Frimpong Batin friends and reports now, it's there. It was under the guise of reclaiming the land.
Yes.
They went in there, started mining there, and once Nipo DNM, and he's talking about leadership. Once the leader starts, everybody else comes in.
Obi to say this guy Mrekuduka. I think say Obeye Deputy Minister of Finance, right? On several countless occasions, on one krum for accusing,
yes.
Petitions a core presidency that the Deputy Minister of Lands is involved in Galamsey.
No, but only Niantina appointed him. They appointed him because of his expertise in the area of illegal mining.
What is expertise in illegal?
Oh yes, in illegal mining. Nti a man appointment to guide the then minister how to do damage to our environment.
Free Galamsey.
Mining area.
So look what's now Mrekuduka was the one leading that chat. So we are grateful to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Yes, or see, the last resort, and people were asking why. If you said the state of emergency is the last resort, is the last, and it's indeed proven to people of this country that yes, we haven't exhausted all until now. Now, me say you better market areas as security zone. I couldn't. Just like going to Flagstaff House, you need to be screened. You need to know. They need to know why you are coming there. So because it is a security zone. Who call Bema camp? There are areas where fly don't go because it's a security zone. So thankfully, we have now realized that the forest reserve is no-go area. It's now earmarked as what? Security zone. The water body that people are concerned largely, you're concerned about how the chemicals are damaging the source of the water. So it is now earmarked as a security zone. So let's look at now, and trust me, you cannot have a spoiled water running across in a form of circle that you would get 1 month to purify it. No. So what the EPA boss plan to do with the steam, application of the nano liquid around that would help to purify the water, to assist Ghana water, to give us a clean water to drink. So the political will we need, and he's exhibiting that political will.
All right. So Miniaba Mausi Ama Maunyefia. Okay, Mausi Ama Maunyefia, Director of Communications, Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, joining here in the studio. Then we have our Honorable Haruna Mohammed, Executive Director, Alliance for Justice and Equity, and also joining in the studio. And I think this is a conversation we'll keep talking about.
Yeah, we have to. It's very important.
Mausi, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Haruna, also joining here. All right, so that's it. But mame, listen on the man, my main fan to Ansah na media ina ama akwasi get me listen na ma. Okay, so what they send you are not for the mame. And akwasi tifri hotel nenko.
Yo, metia free what dia mame mama for 2074 me shani bi no. Mesra mo sade na wanya daje atena citizen show so no ahwe ye no. Watena yete so ya de a ye no obi ka papa 2074 mesha